So good morning, everyone, and buongiorno. Thank you for making it to day 3, and apologies for starting a little late, but it shouldn't delay our day or kind of impact. So we already went a far way. On day 1, we looked at e-learning, blended learning. We did a first delve into different tools. On day 2 yesterday, we looked at one e-learning design method, the backward method, and also looked at Gen AI as the possibility of tools. And today, what I'm planning to do, also incorporating your wishes. So first, we're gonna do a quick check-in so that you also get a chance to revisit what you've done. And then I'm going to give an input on role-playing, and you will explore a little bit the tools yourself. Then we will have a break, and I'm going to give another input on podcasting and Zoom breakouts, which then you'll practice again. We have lunch, maybe a little faster, we can see about that. And continue in the afternoon with the final, work using the Google Sprint. So essentially it kind of brings everything together while applying this in this new Google design sprint method. I don't know why I always type spring instead of sprint. So we will then dedicate the afternoon and you can decide how to move forward, whether you want to continue your activities from yesterday that you started in the backward design, or whether you want to take up one of the new courses as part of this Google Design Sprint. But the idea is then also that you move a little bit freely in terms of what you want to do. So what kind of activities, and I've put in the folder the digital tool activities, right, that you can choose from, like Miro, Kahoot, Padlet, and then also the Gen AI tools. And we're gonna have a little bit of a further look into different tools this morning as we look into role-playing, podcasting, and Zoom breakout sessions, which then you can use also for the afternoon. So essentially the afternoon is meant kind of as a exercise to apply the Google Design Sprint, leveraging all the tools that we went through, or maybe you want to try out another tool that we haven't yet covered, and implement it and articulate. Then we will have hopefully some time for other groups to revisit what you've done in Articulate, and then we will close with a workshop reflection. So maybe we can do a quick round so everybody kind of has the chance to get activated in the morning and speak a little bit. So if you can tell me one thing you most enjoyed learning about and any final wishes for the day. And so, yeah, maybe we start. Do you have the microphone?
Already last day of the training, so it was quite intensive course, and I feel I also grew a lot with the AI tools. This morning I joined the Gemini. They provide 1 month free trial, so it is quite in progress to myself. So today, as I expected, we may explore more about the role-playing design for the online course. And as Ajahn Joy mentioned, could be not exactly the same with the on-site activity, because we are just looking for the outcome. So we will see how we can design that kind of the active, student-centered active learning process. So yeah, I'm looking forward. And also, it is a good chance to applying the Google the Sprint concept to developing the new product or new idea. So this one will be one of my expectations from today's experience. So thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you have a good sleep last night and not thinking about AI tools. Actually, I did think a lot. The role play last night, yesterday evening, maybe it is. I like to send a message to the IT team that actually it was just the role play. This is not a real thing, but I am like not really against or anti using AI tools. That's why I'm here. I still want to know about it, and I like to learn how can we use it in the long term. It's not really just to know in a broad way. So I'd like to know from the IT team, because they practice this before, they use this before. So we will learn from them a lot. Actually, they let us know a lot about which one should we use, which one, the advantage of every tools. So that is the most important thing that I gained from last 2 days, mostly from the IT team. So today I'd like to, I'm so interested and I can't wait to know how to do the podcasting. So that's my expectation today. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Yesterday it was really a wonderful day with a good debate on whether to choose AI or not to choose, what are the challenges, the opportunities. It was really interesting. Today we'll look after this Google Design Sprint and podcast and Zoom breakouts. Thank you.
So good morning, everyone. So yeah, like he said, it was a very interesting day yesterday. We got to learn about everyone's point of view about how Gen AI is good and not good, and how it can be used in education, and what are the benefits and all those things. So we had a good discussion about it, and it was quite unexpected from everyone's point of view. So we had some really interesting point of view as well. So it was really nice to see all those views. And yeah, so today I'm most interested in the role-playing tools, as I've seen like when professors teach in classes, they usually give some role-playing activities, and yeah, it would be great to see how these role-playing tools help out in those activities. Yeah, thank you.
So good morning for myself. So as we try the new method, the application, right? So we all three have the basic of some application, but also we have to learn the new app every day. So from the slide, I think maybe we know just only half. So we also have to learn another half here. So it takes some time, but maybe for the future, if we're not learning today, tomorrow we maybe cannot catch up for the tomorrow. So, and I'm looking forward for today section. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. It's really fun to be around in this group, to have diverse point of view regarding AI, and I learned to be more aware of what are the consequences, the things that we should be out. And it's really nice to be in this group. And I learned also a lot about the technical things about applying Gen AI to work, especially like I'm also in the IT field, but I don't use AI. Okay, so I'm also into IT field, but I don't use AI. But now I've seen a lot of possibility regarding this kind of tool, and yeah, I think it's really a productive tool as I can see it, which I could leverage much around work rather than starting from scratch. I could jumpstart with something that is there, available, readily available, and I could speed up like 100 times, 1,000 times regarding work productivity with these AI tools. And I'm so glad to be in this course. And then I'm looking forward to learn more about those things that you have lined up for today. Thanks.
Good. Good morning, everyone. And I yesterday really appreciated learning about what exists, because it's new to me, and the potential that some of these tools have. As Tony said yesterday, the students are already using many of these tools, so we're not going back to not using them. So for me as an educator, it's important to know what these tools are, try to understand how I can help the students to use them in the best way that helps them, and at the same time minimize some of the risk that we talked about yesterday. So I'm very appreciative about everything that I learned from everybody. And also I want to apologize in advance because I have to leave at lunchtime today. So if I don't have a chance to say goodbye to you before I go, I'm saying bye now and thank you so much, okay? And good luck with everything.
Okay, before doing that, can we also get all your consent for publishing the photos, the videos, the recordings we do from the workshop? Because this is also part of the activities later on we will post online. Is that okay? Normally we have a written consent form. So before you leave, I need to ask for the permission. All right. Yesterday I mentioned for the reflections, all these tools actually are very new to me, and I echo what Ajahn Fabio said. It's like students are using it. It's better we also know what they are using and how we are going to make full use of the tools. It's not like we can't stop students to use it, and then how we are going to adjust things from the faculty point of view to make full use of tools. And also yesterday, another thing I really appreciate a lot is the backward design. That part is together with the Master University's training part, right? So it's like backward how we do the content creation, and together with the tools, with all this, how to put that in the e-learning environment. This combination is very interesting. I wish like actually you do together with the UM team, with this part of training. That would be even like a lot of discussion during the curriculum development process. The faculty members involved in the courses 1 to 6 always ask how we are going to make this more active and make more like putting the transdisciplinary components into the course delivery. So that part, I'm sure this part of like workshop will be beneficial to all the people, to all the faculty members. And also, we really also appreciate a lot having AIT's IT group here, and also our IT colleague Kun Yu here. She does not speak a lot, but she knows all the things, and we always communicate. And also, I'm also expecting like later on, we also will expect a lot of help from Kun Yu as well for all these tools. So we definitely, like today is not the end of the training exercise. Sandra probably will come back or later or online version, and also Dr. Sandra has a plan to have put the training in a short version, is a written manual, right, the document. So that will be very helpful for those, for us, we are here, and also for those who are not here to attend the workshop. That will be a very full reference document. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So maybe just having a look at the tools that are available to you also for the later exercise. So everything will be in the Google folder. The presentations have been sorted by day, but maybe I'm putting it also like the digital learning tools and Gen AI tools in the resource folder if we have one. So the digital learning tools are essentially the different tools that we worked through. This is like, for example, giving you an overview of the different digital learning tools that you may have a look into. I also put like some ideas how you can use it for active learning. So for example, Padlet, co-creation of knowledge, participation, visual interactive engagement, because you can use like the different Padlets, you can also change the background and so on. I've put what you potentially could use it for, but these are just some examples. So I've done this for all the tools, for example, for Miro as well. Kahoot, I mean, you can, also, you need to look into these. So this is like a homework coming out of this workshop that you can go through the presentation yourself and try the tools and what they can be helpful to you. So I've put some examples how you can use it and what this tool is about. So for example, Mentimeter, we haven't looked in more detail, but you can use it for live polls, quizzes, word clouds, also quick question and answers. And you may want to use it to increase participation because sometimes students feel shy to answer, and this can be a way of involving everyone. Also, it gives immediate feedback because you can see the poll results immediately, like you can see here from the screen. Wayground is similar to Kahoot, so this is kind of an online quiz, a game-based learning platform. But again, I mean, there's many ways you can do it. You can even use Mentimeter in the way, in a similar way that you have a question and you pose answers and you get direct feedback. Edpuzzle, we haven't looked yet into more deeply, but maybe this is something you want to explore in the afternoon when you do the Google Design Sprint. So essentially, Edpuzzle, you can basically add to videos activities easily. So, for example, you could add a quiz or different activities like notes, reflections as part of a video that you show to make it more interactive. Breakout Edu, you can look into, so this kind of helps you design like a escape room style challenge, so you can add different challenges people work through to basically solve the breakout room. And people can work as a team to go through this digital escape room, so you know that they kind of engage in collaborative problem solving. Also, hopefully, it stimulates critical thinking in the way you provide it, but it also depends on you. So there is a range of digital tools available that you can find in this presentation. Currently, it's in day 1, digital learning tools. Yeah, I'm going to put it in extra learning as well. In terms of other tools, if you go in the extra materials active learning, you have this Iowa State University document with the different active learning techniques for different scenarios. So whether you have a lecture like a regular one for a few students, etc. So there's a range of different activities which you can also take as inspiration, right? So you can go through the list. And maybe you can find an activity that you haven't done yet but would be great in your point of view integrating. In the role-playing, in the extra materials, you find the tavern game as an example that we spoke about on day 1. So I went through a little bit already, but it provides you a framework for a role-play. So this can be also helpful today when you look a little bit deeper into the role-playing, just maybe in an hour. So yeah, you find this in extra materials, active learning role-playing. And then for yesterday, I've put the Gen AI tools in this presentation, similar to the digital tools that we work through. So for example, you find here the different tools, so hypothesis that you worked through yesterday. So a little similar to how the digital tools are presented, so that you can quickly know what this is about, what you can use it for, how you could potentially use it for active learning. And then I also put like an example, how you could use it potentially for active learning. And I've also put other tools that we may have not worked through here, but that you can follow up because they're widely used. For example, Claude. I'm not using it myself, but I know many colleagues are using it. So this seems to be a really good tool as well. And again, I put also an example activity for your inspiration, but it doesn't mean it can only be used for this, but this is more like an example for you to kind of take inspiration and maybe think about how you could use the tool. There's also some other useful short examples how you can use it for. So for example, Claude, you could use it for discussion prompts, simulated dialogues, writing support, creative tasks, also assessment prep. So there's different ways you can use the tool. Notebook LM we looked into yesterday. It's really interesting because of this podcasting functionality it has. But it can also do other things. So it can do a quick summary of documents, of papers. It can do mind maps, etc., where it's really good in. Google Gemini is very versatile and extremely good at doing systematic reviews, for example, at the moment. So I think this is kind of the best tool because it does not really do a lot of hallucinations in comparison to other tools. So you can use it for so many things, actually. So what it's useful for is just like a short kind of overview, but you could use it for so many other things as well. And I put an example, Canigo, I still leave it in, maybe it becomes available in Thailand very soon, who knows? But you could also use it if you have a VPN, you could use it via the VPN if you have one available. SciSpace is actually pretty good if you have a more scientific activity and you want to find paper that are similar to a certain kind of paper. So it's also really good for your own research, and I think it can also help people to find high quality papers relevant for answering a question, for example. Character AI, we're gonna have a look at in like maybe half an hour, so you can check this out yourself. And we also gonna have a look at some other AI generative tools, so not just for text, but also in terms of generating video and images. So Synthesia, for example, is a video creation platform which you can use to generate videos very quickly from PowerPoints. The same is true for Eli, but they have like different, ease of navigation and usage. So you can try this out during the role play activity this morning, and you can play around a little bit with these tools, so to familiarize yourself. And of course, ChatGPT. So I also put an example, but it really is, GPT is very versatile, and similar to what you've seen yesterday with the gems in Google Gemini, you can also do your own GPTs, so your own kind of specialized ChatGPT mini programs that you can build. So maybe if you feel like you want to explore in the afternoon, and maybe the AIT expert group can also help you a little bit look deeper into that when we go into a Google Design Sprint activity this afternoon, how you use, for example, GPTs and other many available GPTs like DALL-E, also for image generation, etc. So there's these tools available in the Google Drive that you can use also for this afternoon. And for today, I've put also the presentations of the podcasting roleplay Zoom breakout and the Google Design Sprint online. So you have everything ready here. All right. So we have to see if it's helpful to generate a document coming out of this, because I think most materials are there. So we will see. So hopefully these documents are already very helpful to you. So we'll see. There's stuff already there which you can use, and we can see how much. But I think there are like all the tools you need. I mean, we can see how to compile another document even. All right, so we get started. So I'm going to give you a short input on the role playing for e-learning, how you can use it. So it's a short input, and I also want you coming out of this explore the AI tools a little bit, so that you have an idea what these are about. So how to do role-playing in e-learning. So the first step would be to define purpose and roles. So you want to clarify what skills or competences you want to build. So for example, you can think about competencies like communication, for example. So you could imagine doctor-patient communication or teacher-parent communication. You could also do role-playing with regards to train negotiation, so policymaker, non-governmental organization, manager-employee scenarios. You could also role-play ethics case dilemmas, for example, so like vaccine allocation. So if you remember COVID-19, there was this vaccine allocation problem, especially for low-income countries. And you can also use role-playing to assign roles. So, for example, different students take different perspectives. Or you could also use it like you can train AI, or you could give prompts to ChatGPT or Google Gemini. For example, imagine you are an NGO and the other students take on other roles and basically argue with the Gen AI. So that could be also, I guess, a good way to actively involve AI without emphasizing too much the passive component that we discussed yesterday, right? So maybe this afternoon, or maybe even for the exercise, you can try this, that you use your AI of choice, like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever you want to explore in the exercise, and give the AI prompts to take on another perspective as part of the role-playing exercise, right? So this is something you can pick up later in the exercise. So the branching. So maybe I also need to give you an input on the branching. So there's like different ways you can do it, and also in the afternoon we're gonna have to see if we can split in 3 groups. If not, we do 2. But the idea was actually, I mean, because we always have kind of 3 different modes of e-learning. So as you remember, on day 1 we spoke about asynchronous and synchronous. So asynchronous is like fully online, let's say. Then we have blended, where we have e-learning components and we have face-to-face. And then we have synchronous, where you have, where you can have all the e-learning at the same time. So, for example, me giving a lecture live, but not basically, so a live lecture, but not as a recorded video, for example. So you always need to be at the same time at the same online place, let's say. So looking at role play in different formats, so asynchronously, so self-paced, so all the materials are there for the students online to work through. So you can use branching scenarios. I'm going to give a short input after the role play, so maybe for now you park it. So essentially, learner do take on a role, they make choices, and then they see the consequences. So essentially, you design different scenarios, and based on the choices that the student make, they progress the materials in different ways, right? So this maybe is roughly branching, but if you wanted, I can give a bit more input, but I'm not sure if that is needed because, but let's see. So for example, a branching scenario could be that imagine a public health officer responds to an outbreak, and there's 3 possible strategies he can choose from, and then the student makes a choice, and depending on that choice, the story further evolves. You could also use AI for coming up with the different branches of the story. Essentially, this is also something you could explore, how to do the branching of a scenario with the support of AI. You could also do a written role play in forums or in Padlet, for example, or in Hypothesis, as you've explored yesterday. So students could post as their character, for example, minister, patient, CEO, and then others reply in their role, and this creates like a dialogue thread. So this is something you could use as well in terms of offering this asynchronously. In a synchronous format, so if you want to do it live, you could use, of course, Zoom and breakout rooms. So you assign roles to students before they go into their breakout rooms. And you give a scenario brief. So for example, you're the hospital director, you're the union leader, and you can see how much time you want to give. So if you want to do a short one, you could do like a 10-15 minute play. Then students come back in the plenum and you debrief them. You could use for these scenarios like polls, for example. So you could ask them in the debrief how they felt about it, because this is typically what you do in the debrief for role plays, that when people have finished the role play, you ask them how they felt with their roles, how the role play was for them, was it engaging? And then you could also use the Mentimeter or polls differently. For example, for kind of role play decisions, so to kind of end the scenario, but you could also use it for the debrief. And this is something you can explore now as well. So the AI-supported role play. So you'll be looking in a minute into character AI. You can also use ChatGPT or Claude or Google Gemini. So where AI plays the counterpart, and you can train AI, let's say, or you can prompt it to act as a certain character, so that the AI does take on this role. So for example, you could think about prompting the AI into being a patient, a policymaker, or even a very skeptical stakeholder. The students then interact with the pre-prompted AI reflects on the realism of the AI, for example, acting as this counterpart and the limitations. You could also use for these kind of AI-supported role plays, Synthesia or Eli videos, so that you can kind of have a pre-recorded avatar if you want to be more fancy instead of just text. So you could have like a more realistic scenario. So you can look into these tools after this, so you can explore a little bit yourself how much effort they take, if this is something you want to take up or not, to make it more realistic, you know. But otherwise, you can also do a text-based role play scenario. So there's many options you could go with. So typically, how a role play is going is that before you start, you provide a brief. So you give a clear scenario. And again, if you go back also for this activity, you can have a look at day 1, where I put the role-playing description of this live-action role-play from the climate denial. There you'll find a scenario description and also the different roles and characters that are available in the role-play for your reference. And you can define a task goal, so you announce this in the beginning so people know also what they need to engage with during the role play. So you can tell them, for example, depending on the role play you want to do, reach an agreement by the end of the role play, counsel patient, defend the policy. So you can give them different objectives, right? And based on the different characters, each character may have a different interest, which then steers the role play. And then you give them their role engagement, so learners act from their role perspective, so you can also provide this in the character description. So just as I've shown you in day 1 from the climate denial, there's like different characters that have different kind of characteristics and which then guides their choices, posts, or dialogues. So students are always meant to take on this role and the respective characteristics. You can also, if you want the role play to be done in a certain time, keep it time boxed. So you can try like how students feel like they want to involve themselves, but it seems that 5 to 15 minutes if you want to do it via Zoom, for example, in breakout rooms, but depending also on the scenario, yeah, like if you want to have like a short scenario where they quickly have to go through defense of a policy, can be 5 to 15 minutes, but role plays can also be 6 hours. Or you could do like a full day of role play, so really there's no end to it. It depends on the complexity of the scenario that you provide. But maybe for the beginning, if you want to do like a small role play as an engagement activity, you could keep it short. The output could be something that they produce, so a decision, a written argument, a group consensus, or a recorded reflection. So this could maybe be an audio file or also a video. So you could ask them to record different things. And then after the role play is done, what you do is the debrief. You could ask them, for example, what did your role prioritize? Did it clash with others? What trade-offs did you notice? What would you do differently in real life? So you basically reflect with them after the role play, like how the role play went. And in the debrief, you can also add a bit of theoretical input as well. So for example, if your role play is a little bit abstract, like the climate denial one that I provided you, because it doesn't become evident when you play it that it's about climate change and climate denial. So you can also take this discussion and theory input in the debrief. So you can shortly debrief them about the topic of climate change and health, climate denial, and then give a short input and then foster a discussion about the topic, for example, or attach it to another activity. So for example, an e-learning role play activity beyond the climate denial, so you could think about global health policy, again, the vaccine allocation during a pandemic, because I think this is very fresh for all of us still. So you could have different roles, for example, the Minister of Health, an NGO leader, a village representative. And as activities for the asynchronous, you basically could assign, or the learner chooses the role, and you make like 3 branching decisions. If you do a predefined scenario, in the Zoom, you could use the breakout rooms and basically provide a scenario that groups in these breakout rooms negotiate a vaccine plan, for example, and as an output, you could have a short statement posted in Padlet, for example, that also asks them to reflect on trade-offs. Design principles, just a few. So it usually is helpful if you do a short role play to have an authentic context. Based roles on real dilemmas learners may face. Also reflect multiple perspectives, so to ensure conflict, negotiation is built in. Provide a good structure, so clear roles, provide time limitations, also specific tasks, so students are clear on what their role is in the role play, because sometimes people feel shy, and so it's good to give them a bit of guidance. Also very important, don't forget the debrief and the reflection. This is like the main part of the role play. So always close with an analysis of the decisions, and you can use the branching, for example, for the asynchronous role play. You could use Padlet, Miro for evidence, Zoom for life, for example. The integration into active learning can happen. Basically the role play is a very immersive, interactive way of engagement anyways. But you can connect it to the theory output, for example, in the debrief, and you could ask them in the debrief, what argument did you use? What did the other role highlight that you hadn't considered? You can also pair role play with a short debrief quiz or reflection submission in addition, right? And encourage peer feedback, so that students, for example, comment on each other's strategies. So you could do this, for example, also in Hypothesis or whatever tool you feel would be a good thing. In Articulate, you can easily do the branching decision trees. Maybe this afternoon you want to try out the AI tool in Articulate. I don't know if it can do the branching, but maybe if you prompt it, it could do branching decision trees for you. We will look now, or you get the opportunity to look now into AI or different tools that you can use for the role play, like character AI. Also, please explore ChatGPT, Google Gemini. If you want, you can also look into Claude. You can think about Padlet, Miro as collaborative boards during the role play, Zoom or Teams or whatever you want to use for live breakout role play rooms. And if you want to get fancy, you can use video-based scenarios with Synthesia or Eli.io. And for inspiration, you can also Google EduLARPs. So EduLARPs means educational live action role plays. So for example, the scenario I've posted in day one, this is like an EduLARP, so educational live action role play. If you Google this, you'll find quite a number of websites that could also help you. Maybe there's already something around that you want to reuse or take for inspiration. So again, key success factors, give clear role briefs. So who are the roles students take on, what these roles want to achieve, build in real consequences, decisions, which decisions affect which kind of outcomes. Always do the debrief and reflection, so because the learning happens in the reflection, and try to keep scenarios authentic and context-specific. In the beginning, you can also become a little bit more abstract, but this takes longer to design. So the climate denial one, because you need to translate roles, you need to inform roles, and it's a little bit more complicated. But you can nevertheless use the climate denial one also as a source of inspiration, or Google EduLARPs, and you'll find other scenarios also that may be helpful. All right. So that was the input on role-playing. Do you want me to give you an input on the branching, or you think I mean, it's not very complicated in the sense that the branching is basically a predefined decision tree where you provide different decisions, and then students take a decision, for example, in the vaccine distribution scenario, and then depending on what decision they make, they follow a different story path. And you can also, again, use ChatGPT, for example, to give you scenario examples which you could easily build upon, for example. So, or you could also use Notebook LM to provide a scenario, and then it gives you kind of this mind map branching that we've seen yesterday for you to build up easily these branching decision trees if you want to go for that, because it's a little bit complex. But it could be fun to try out. So any questions? All right, so this presentation is also in the folder of day 3. So what I want you to do now is to explore different tools like Character AI, Synthesia, Elio, also ChatGPT, and essentially, yeah, I can put it on a slide so you have it as an exercise prompt. I think that's easier. But also in day 3, the presentation is there if you want to have a look. In day 1, and also in the extra materials, there's the role-playing of climate denial. And what I want you to do, we could either do it as a single activity, so we have a branching scenario right here, or you could come together as a group. So what do you feel more comfortable? Who wants to go for a single? No one. Who wants to do a group? No one. Okay. You just don't want to do the exercise, okay? So we do another round of voting. So single. Anybody want to do one single? Group? 1. So it's 1, 1. 2. Group. Okay. It's group. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So maybe we can have, because groups of 4 is a bit large, so maybe we can have 3 power groups. And maybe, yeah, maybe you pick your group members, because it would be good if each of you was in a different group, I think, to help others with the AI tools. All right, off you go. So let's take maybe 45 minutes, and then we'll have a break. And after the break, we can give an overview what kind of tools you liked and how you see, or if there's further questions about the role play, how you can implement that, and then we can discuss in the plenum. I'm going to put the tools and what I want you to try on the slide in a minute, and in the meantime you can gather your groups and get started. So don't feel shy to pick your group members. I want these 3 to split up, so. You can change whatever, but I just want the AIT. So today I'm giving you independence, because, you know, it's like a PhD journey. So the first 2 days was basically your doctoral phase, and now you need to learn, kind of become independent with using these tools. So I'm letting you a little bit off the leash, so you make your decisions, which I'm providing a couple of tools and ideas for what you can try out, and then you try out whatever, and then after the break, so we do this until 10:45, then we'll have a break for 15 minutes, and we come back at 11, and then we have a debrief. Essentially, and a short discussion about what you used, what you liked about it, and, you know, how you see role play implemented for your teaching, for example, or for learning. I'm going to put it on the slide, so just get together, and you can already start deciding what you want to do. The presentation is in day 3 if you want to revisit the presentation, and the role play, the tavern, is in day 1, I think, or in the extra resource material. So you make your own choices now. Okay. Also, you can use, the presentations of the digital tools and the Gen AI tools, which I showed just like I don't know, 20 minutes ago. So you can also revisit those and which ones you want to explore for the role playing, right? So I know independence can feel scary, but I'm sure you can do it. So. All right, so please we're looking forward to hear what you've done. And yeah, if you share your screen, if you have something to show. Sorry? Yes, because usually Chris starts number one, but it seems he's not ready, so. So. Is it on?
All right. So we, okay, then, I cannot explain the technical things. I will explain our rationale only, okay? So we, okay, our topic or our scenario was basically, we started with identifying the goal, okay, what we wanted, the competencies that we wanted to use this role play for, and we focused on communication, negotiation, and advocacy skills. So that was what we were aiming to use this role play for, thinking that we would use with students to help them build their communication, negotiation, and advocacy skills. So then the scenario was basically we have a climate change denialist these were the characters, a climate change denialist, an environmentalist, and a community representative. And so we put this prompt, I don't know if that's the right word, but into Gemini, and Gemini came up with a storyline, which it's there, I think, maybe you can see it on your computer. The crossroads at Willow Creek. And so here, basically, there is a description where this is the scenario where there is this community which is very much still live in a kind of pristine environment, but the local council has decided to allow a corporation to build a factory or some kind of plant there. And so now it's the time to make the final decision. And so there is a meeting where the CEO of this company, who is the climate change denialist, is going to debate with an environmentalist and a community member. So then Gemini created if you like, the role description for. So then Gemini created the description of each of these roles, okay? So the CEO of this corporation, who is the climate change denialist, the environmentalist, and the community representative. And basically there were some prompts for each of these roles, suggestion for how they could approach their respective roles and develop their respective roles. So then there is the meeting, obviously, so that's the role play, okay, when they interact. Then we moved to the briefing. What we did first, we wrote the briefing questions. We had, I think, 3 or 4 debriefing questions, and I think these were our original 4 debriefing questions, which you can see there. But what we did then, we put them into Gemini and asked Gemini, can you improve this debriefing question to foster critical thinking? That was the instruction that we gave Gemini. And Gemini then broke down our original 4 debriefing question in a very interesting way, because it looked at, for example, different components in terms of communication. So language, the linguistic component, the emotional component, the ethical component. And then also there were other ways in which Gemini broke down our original question, looking, for example, at how data was used by the speakers, by the 3 characters, how they used information, So that's basically our role play and how we use Gemini. I don't know if...
I think you covered almost all of it. Yeah, so for this activity, we mostly use Gemini. Other than that, for the video part, we were trying to go through the Eli IO, but we had just logged in and the break started, so we haven't got time to explore this one. Yeah, I think Dr. Fabio explained it pretty well. So yeah. Oh, sorry.
Using this one.
Yeah, great. Did you also prompt Google Gemini as a role-playing character to act, not so much?
No.
Okay, maybe you can do later. Sure. In the afternoon, there will be some time. So this activity was mainly focusing on role-playing, and later in the afternoon, we'll go through the Google Design Sprint as a method, while you can also then explore these tools further and work them out, because it would be, I think, interesting also to get some feedback from you how you found this video generating activities. Yeah. So many thanks for the Willow Creek group. And then we continue with the Power 2-man group. Here you go.
So just to make it a little bit sound real, we took an issue that's a university is in trouble. A news report says that new AI software that has been used to watch students during online tests is unfair to students and biased, color biased, and they are biased to those who do have disabilities. So the story is all over social media, students are angry, and the university's reputation is on the line. So with this, we have players like the student leader, the professor, the tech company rep, and the dean of innovation. So how will this go on? So part one, every characters get the documents, the desires, then they have an emergency meeting. So as a team, what the team has to do is to release press release, then a 3-step action plan. So the outcome will be see the consequences, what will be the consequences, then share the thoughts, and in between there will be a twist, so which we call it as breaking news. An alert pops up. So the alert is like another university has a plan to drop this AI proctor. So how that a breaking news or a surprise brings the change in the plan of the group. So this is how we try to find it out or get it, and in order to get or reach to this, we plan to use articulate price for the desired phase, where all the documents, maybe like the social media posts, those emails, those things will be shared with Zoom. The emergency hearing or the meeting will be done. Google Docs and Miro for collaborative and authentic artifact creation. Maybe Squirm to deliver the branching logic consequences. And this flip, like not checked yet, but this seems like a good idea where we can post those release and the documents that were created by the groups, and other group members can comment on it and have a good discussion. But we have not tried this yet. And overall, we used ChatGPT Gemini, and regarding the characters, we also have some prompts ready to create the characters. We tried to use Synthesia, but I think it has some restrictions with character creation. So we cannot import more than, I think, one character, and that character is supposed to be a lady. And what if we have some other characters? So that's still ongoing. We are trying to create a video regarding this. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I just checked Flip. Maybe it's like an add-on for Google Classrooms or so. So yeah, but you could explore. It's just, yeah, very interesting role play. that come out of this. But did you prompt the AI into a character yet?
I'm sorry?
Did you prompt the AI, like Google Gemini, into a character so it could be interacting with the student, for example?
No.
Okay. Maybe we can look into this in the afternoon. I mean, essentially, you could also build a GPT or a gem, which you then, you could provide like some documents and some prompts, so to build different gems as characters. So maybe we can look into this in the afternoon.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Chris, for the first time, number 3. No. All right.
Okay, we are group number 1 and discussed about actual class experience from Ajahn Fan. She has a lot of experience and idea about the student-centered active learning activities in the classroom, and she is design the activities depending on the topics and learning outcomes. So I quickly asked her example, and she answered some role-playing about the environmental law related with the pollution and health problem. So she will make her groups for the student, and each student representing government, factory, and local farmers, and school educators. So they have to argue to secure their position into the same social problems, like the factory have to support their village by producing their product, but it also causing some pollution. So the farmers may get some problem with the water pollution from the factory, something like this. So we discussed a lot about the actual activities to understanding what we need using the AI tools. And before starting, we also asked whether the students are in the class, everyone, or hybrid, some from online, some in the class, or 100% online. So Kun Du and myself suggested, let's say this program can be conducted online for everyone so that we can go further without the physical barrier. So we designed this for everyone online. And for the grouping is the first step. So we ask the questions to designing the simple questions for the grouping. So I will share the, can I share the slide? So as usual, Gemini gave us all the detailed information as we prompt. So basically, we want to grade each student on their own idea and opinion for each question. So the Gemini simply designed the 5 questions related with the issue, and there are 4 different answers for the multiple choice, and each answer has different score. So ends up, we can sum the score, and depending on the score, we can categorize each student into the different groups. So this is grouping the student rather than just simply using the simple method to randomly grouping the student. We can listen from their opinion, and depending on their characteristics and thinking, we can put each student into the right position to representing different stakeholders. This is one. And another one is the Kahoot. Kuntu designed for the scoring, because basically I wanted to see the student, their different role from previous actual class from Ajahn Joy. So it was a gender equality class, but Ajahn Joy gave each student have different social position, like single mom, village doctor, or disabled person. So each person has their capacity, different capacity. So the Ajahn Joy asked the same question to everyone in the line. If person who can do this answer the question, then the student can step forward. So after 10 different questions, the student positioned different locations. So we can see the different social position result, different result. So the students directly understand the limitations of the capacity and power from each different situation. So this is what I intended to transform it into the online. Pete Dun thankfully gave me an idea using the Kahoot, so he may introduce this Kahoot.
Thank you, Kap. Let me share the screen. So from Ajahn Kir's idea, and I make the game online. So I just show you guys, or you want to join in? You want to join in or just show online? So can be both sides. Maybe just demo. So I will share my screen first. So at first also we ask the ChatGPT to create the question, and then I just copy the question to the Kahoot. I export for the free version. So this one I create like 5 quiz. So for the question, this one. So for the Kahoot, they can select what type of the question, like quiz, true or false. This is for free version. They have more about the poll, about the scaling, but you have to pay them. So for the normal, you have the question, and you can put a photo or video, and the type of an answer A, B, C, D. You can select. After you complete, you can just only save, and you can do the live demo. I will launch the demo. So it's a game that you can play in the class, or people who can join online also. So they just scan the QR code. So this is the mode that you can select. So you can see on the left side is the main screen that create the host, and the light on is a telephone. So everybody just scan the telephone from the QR code, and it will open the web browser, and then it's gonna be put a game pin. So after enter, you can put the name. So you can start. So everybody will have their cartoon. So also they also can change whatever cartoon they like, and then we can start. So if your phone on the right side will show like this one. So the question will pop up, and you can just select here the question that we get from ChatGPT. So maybe Suhail, you try to. Okay. So this is the host C. So I'm collect the question. So they have the ranking. Number 2 is collect, and you get the score. The score is if you go faster than other people, you will get higher score. And the next question, this show the scoreboard. And then the next question, this how can interface support some community. So you select one. And then it shows scoreboard. The next question. So I just do the simple 5 questions that we generate from ChatGPT. Oh, Suhail, you come to be the winner. So maybe for this we can use in class, or maybe after we have go for lunch and come back to the class, and we have to play the game for fun. So here the final question. Okay, so here you win. So this is just demo. But it depend on if you want to have the low pay. So at first we thinking about you are select the card first, that you're gonna be the farmer, governor, private sector, something like that. And for each row, you have to have each game for that row. For the farmer, because the question will not same for all, right? Or we can have the same question, and for this software also for the scoring. For she don't want to be score. So for this one, we also can choose that. Don't count the score also. So, but we know what you're gonna choose A, B, C, but we not provide the scoring. So it social justice. Thank you, ครับ you can.
I'd like to add because we have very strong ambitions to create the very fun role play in the real. We changed from the on-site to online, but really we don't have enough time. So at this example, we just only complete at the stage like how to group the student into different roles, and then after that we will let them play their role, and then we haven't done that part yet. Yeah.
So after the grouping from these online tools, the actual discussion, the student group can be made using the Zoom breakout room for each group, and then after the plenary talk in the Zoom, so that we can operate the online courses. Yeah, but one thing I want to share the idea is the designing using the AI tool also consuming the time. But if the prepared AI tools not stored in the class, we have to go another way from zero again. So basically we need to invest a lot of time and see the actually helpful or not. So it may take quite a trial scenarios as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean since the beginning of the training. It will take a lot of time for us to try every different program until we can get familiar and we know exactly, like by this time next year, we can know exactly what we need immediately. And I don't think time consuming will be the issues for the next year. Yeah, because like, for example, today we try a lot and Peter was really interested to do everything for us. But when we, like, for example, we change from this program to the other, we have to create the account again and we have to wait again. So that's a kind of consuming as well. That's why we haven't finished our program yet. The role play, we really not yet imagine how it works online.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Group 1. An interesting approach and also into the grouping. For example, that you did the private sector as it kind of came up with interesting grouping. So in general, an interesting way also to assign role-playing groups. So we will have a little bit more time in the afternoon so we can see how to proceed. And if you want to delve deeper into the role play as part of the Google Design Sprint, we can discuss after lunch. So this was a little bit delve into the role play. You got a little bit of a taste. So I think this is all we can do in this workshop because otherwise, we could have like a whole workshop on role playing, I guess. But at least you got a little bit of a teaser and some ideas what you could explore as tools. So I would continue now with the other wishes on your wish list, which were the Zoom breakout and podcasting. So I would give an input on the podcasting and the Zoom breakout rooms, and then there will be a little exercise again, so you can explore a little yourself. So I will start with the podcasting, I think. Let me just locate the presentation, so many. So it's just short inputs, but I hope that they are useful for you. So all the documents are online, so you can also follow up later. In more depth, if you're interested in a certain topic. So we're gonna look at podcasting with, oops, no, that's not. Podcasting for e-learning or active learning. So why would we use podcasts in e-learning? So the voice builds the connection in otherwise text-heavy courses. So if we remember the retention pyramid from the day one. Also the flexibility, learners can listen anytime, anywhere. So potentially they could have it on their phone and listen to it while they commute in the train or in the bus or something. You could also connect it, of course, with prompts, quizzes, or other kind of reflections. So the podcast can be a puzzle piece in a large active learning scheme, which you can combine with other activities. Also, if you have students or so who are faced with low bandwidth internet, it's easier to access. It doesn't take up so much storage space. So, especially if you have low resource settings, this is one of the advantages. Formats for educational podcasts, so you can kind of structure them, for example, into mini lectures, 5 to 10 minutes, concept explainers. So this is one way you could use podcasts, for example. You can also interview experts or practitioners. So thinking back of the modules that you've already delivered, I think you did some field visits. So potentially you could also interview people as part of the face-to-face delivery and have these interviews on the e-learning. So kind of, to bring the field experience to some degree into the e-learning environment. You could combine these interviews and mini lectures into case stories that are kind of reflecting or incorporating or translating real-world examples into the online environment. So you could, for example, have different interviews and combine them with narration into a case that students could listen to. Another format for educational podcasts could be that students generate podcasts themselves as assessments. We explored yesterday with Notebook LM, but of course they could also do it themselves, which would be interesting. And you could also use it in a flipped classroom setting, but essentially, for example, providing mini lectures or the case story, and then students listen to this before they meet live for a discussion, for example. So here's a little script in case this is helpful to you. So how to create a podcast for e-learning. It follows kind of the typical structure. You could also use the backward design for the planning step, for example, that we did yesterday. So define the learning objectives is always number one. So what should students know or do after listening? You could write a light script or a bullet outline, not word for word, so that it doesn't sound too scripted. And you can record podcasts very easily. So there's like these little microphones, these USB microphones, or also Bluetooth microphones that you can connect with on a smartphone, and then, or you could also use your laptop. There's different software available. So Audacity, have you come across this before? Audacity? No. Audacity is free, so it's been around for a while. GarageBand is only available on Mac. So if you have a Mac, you could also look into GarageBand. It's a software that typically is already installed. And then there's other tools like Descript, which is AI-based, which also helps you, for example, to remove noise or easily edit your contents. So after you've recorded your podcast, you can edit and enhance, so you can cut out any mistakes, you can remove noise. In Audacity, you can do this as well. Audacity is quite powerful. You could add a short intro or outro, like a little bit of a music jingle, for example, or hello, this is the Glow Project, or something, like an intro, outro, things to frame. You could also provide transcripts, and you can also use AI for doing this automatically. If you want to publish your podcast, so there's different hosting possibilities, so you could do so via Spotify. There's also other options like Podbean, Buzzsprout, or if you wanted it on the learning management system, you could link or embed an audio player in the learning management system. So maybe this is also something you can try out in the afternoon. how to embed an audio file in Articulate, for example. And because you could think about like if students are really engaged, or if you're engaged, or want to provide like a podcast for Thailand, you could also think about doing that, because many people offer like a regular podcast, right? Like where they interview other people, for example. So you could do so as well very easily using these hosting providers. Like you could use Spotify for podcasters, and then it's also made available on other podcasting platforms, or again, just Podbean or Buzzsprout. You can integrate the podcasting with learning, so you compare episodes with reflection prompts, the famous Padlet. You can add quizzes, microtasks, maybe in Kahoot or in other environments. I mean, there's many possibilities available. You can also use the podcast as pre-class prep, again, in kind of a flipped classroom setting, for example, where you ask them to listen to the podcast and then do a discussion in class, for example. So you could also, here are some active learning examples. You could do pause and reflect prompts. So you could do something like, stop here, write down 2 ways this concept applies to your context. You could do discussion follow-ups after the podcast, so where students share takeaways in forums or Padlet. You could have case-based podcasts where learners role-play an interview, for example, and then reflect. So you could even combine podcasting and role-playing in that sense, right? Like, because students can take on these roles in an interview and then reflect after. Or another example is, for example, student podcast projects. So you could assign students to create short podcasts as assessments. For example, explaining a theory or narrating a case. So here's like one example, podcasting for active learning. So again, looking at vaccines, vaccine equity. So for example, you could record like a 10-minute podcast episode where you have a short story about a real-world case of unequal vaccine distribution. You provide the WHO COVAX framework, and as a final part, present key ethical dilemmas. So before the class, students can listen to the podcast if you have an asynchronous environment, and then you could prompt them to write down 2 arguments for and against global vaccine sharing. You could do it in Miro, in Padlet. So there's different environments where you can offer that. You could do it during class, so for example, using breakout rooms in Zoom, where you can divide students in 3 to 4 large groups, and students compare notes and agree on the strongest argument, for example, and then post outcomes on Padlet Miro. Or you could ask to provide like a reflection, what local factors in your country affect vaccine equity. So there's different ways how you can integrate the podcast in these scenarios. So the tools, this is like for you for reference, also for the exercise, just could be helpful later. And that's the podcasting. So I think the easiest is Audacity, because it is for free, it's quite powerful. You can also do some editing in Audacity, so maybe it's not as pretty as other tools, but I think it's the most powerful one, really. So you can have a look at it later in the exercise. You could also look at the script, for example, as an AI-based tool. Do you have any questions? Anything else you would like to share? All right. So this is a quick podcasting input. So I'm doing the Zoom breakout rooms just now as well, because we will have like a combined exercise where, let's see how this works, but it will be a new exercise where you kind of use both for preparing an input for the other group. So podcasting, check mark, so your input is done. On the podcasting, you find the presentation online as well, and you will come back to it during the exercise. So just to zoom into the Zoom breakout rooms for active learning. So what you want to use these breakout rooms for example, if you want to create like a small group interaction, in a large online class, also for encouraging peer-to-peer learning, for example, explaining concepts. You could do it for debating, also for all kinds of problem-solving scenarios, because it does increase engagement to put people in smaller breakout rooms. I mean, oh, sorry. Can train your listening skills. Okay. Yeah, and then also use the breakout rooms essentially to have students co-produce their own learning, what we always want to focus on in active learning. So it's a good thing to keep tasks short and clear. So maybe about depending on the activity you want to give, 5 to 15 minutes is typically a good slot with precise instructions. You could also assign different roles. So one student takes on the role of a facilitator, the other is the note taker, the other is presenter, to reduce silences and confusion. So this is the idea of assigning roles. It's good to also give them a product that they should generate as part of the output. So, for example, a Padlet post, maybe a shared Google Doc, a Miro board, or a one-slide summary on either of these tools. And it's always important that when people come back in the larger room to have a debrief in the plenary, so that people can share their outputs and facilitate into a larger discussion. So there's like different activities you could consider for active learning. For example, using these Zoom breakout rooms, for example, think, pair, share. So it's an individual reflection first, then a small group discussion in pairs, and then essentially it's sharing key points back. You could also use it for a case analysis. So each group analyzes a short case study or scenario and then compares solutions in the larger plenary. You could also use it for role play, so you could assign different perspectives, for example, policymaker, patient, NGO, and simulate a negotiation in a breakout room. The so-called jigsaw method, so each group works on a different reading piece you give them. It could be, for example, on dengue, and then climate change, heat, whatever. And then each expert teaches the others in the breakout room. So each student takes on like one reading piece and then teaches the other students about what they became an expert in. You could also use it for brainstorming and kind of micro-teaching sessions where you can use the other methods as well, like as very short kind of exchange rounds. Just to give you an example for the think, pair, share. So for example, you could prepare like a stimulus question. Should patient data be shared with tech companies if it improves health AI models? Then you can send people in pairs to the breakout room. You give them like a couple of minutes to think, so individually, and then they write down one argument in favor and one against. And then after a couple of minutes, they pair up in the breakout room, so two students, and they share their arguments with their partner. And then in pairs, they work out what is the strongest argument for and against. And then essentially they come back to the plenary soon, and each pair posts, for example, their best for and best against argument in Padlet or a Google Doc, and there can be a quick discussion in the plenary. You could then wrap it up with a debrief. So for example, you could ask, what new perspective did your partner add that you hadn't considered? Or you could do a Mentimeter poll, or you could also do a Zoom poll, which is much more convenient if you're doing it in Zoom. So you could ask quick yes-no questions as well. An example for a case analysis you can do in a Zoom breakout room. So you could prepare a short case presentation describing a dilemma. For example, again about vaccine allocation during COVID-19. So where should the vaccine, which people should receive the vaccine first? So this could be a case scenario that you prepare, and you provide then the Google Doc and organize students in breakout rooms of 4 to 5. You then provide some instructions, for example, that they should read the case and give them some questions like which groups should be prioritized, what is risks, trade-offs of your choice. And you also assign roles. So one person who facilitates the discussion, the other takes notes, and the other person then presents back in the plenary. Then everybody comes back and each group provides like a 1 to 2 summary of their decisions. And again, you can collect the responses in Padlet, Miro, Mentimeter, whatever you think is a good digital tool. And then again, you can close with a debrief and reflection. So you can give them some prompts to guide this debrief and reflection. So for example, you could ask if the group struggled and why, and what new perspective they gained from the other's solution. Role-playing, similar. Essentially, you provide like a scenario brief, what the students are essentially faced with in terms of scenario. You provide roles, and you can basically pair them up. You can have a short scenario, 5 to 7 minutes, where they kind of have a discussion in pairs as in their roles. And then if you assign an observer of this discussion, this observer then can note down key points in Padlet, Google Docs, for example. And then everybody comes back to the plenary and kind of revisits or reenacts, like in a concise form, their dialogue. And the instructor can also highlight best practices, for example. And then again, the debrief and reflection, where you can provide guiding questions. So what was the hardest about responding? What made you feel heard or dismissed? And you can also use, again, like polls, Zoom polls, for example. I'm just going to jump over that. If you are interested, you can read through it later again, because it's a lot of things I'm giving you now, but you have all the documents in the Google Drive for you to revisit later. What is good to have in mind when doing this is to pre-assign, like you did with Kahoot, for example, groups or randomized group depending on activity. Also, it's good before the rooms shut down to broadcast a message into the rooms for how long it's still going, because before they're being transported back in the plenary. Also, a good thing is to visit the rooms briefly to check progress and encourage, because sometimes breakout rooms are not taking off. Also, it's good to time box shorter sessions instead of doing like a long unfocused session. And also using collaborative tools are a good idea, so groups can easily share their outputs. The debriefing is an important part, so once everybody is back in the plenary, have the groups, the individual breakout groups, present the highlights. You can use different tools like Mentimeter, the Mentimeter word cloud, or also the Zoom polls for groups to submit outputs quickly. And then you basically summarize and synthesize and connect back to the learning objectives. So this is the Zoom breakout, which you can use. And again, the presentation is in this Google Cloud folder. And we can see, because I had an exercise in mind. Here. For you to take that up, because I went through it quite quickly. Maybe you already know some things yourself. And again, I would encourage and invite you to revisit the materials after the workshop. So the activity I wanted you to do is that we have 2 groups. So group A would be looking at Zoom breakout rooms, group B for podcasting. And each group prepares an active learning online scenario for the other group. Then we would have like a micro-teaching round. We can see how long it lasts. I just put some timings, but they don't have to be that long. So the micro-teaching can also be very much shorter. So maybe we do rather, 5 to 8 minutes, I guess. And then we can have a short debrief of each group, what the other group liked about the activity, what worked well, what was confusing, difficult. how could it be improved, so that you can try these tools out for teaching. All right. So essentially, you can maybe either continue your role-playing scenarios. I mean, you can use it for podcasting as well as for the Zoom breakout, or you want to do something different. Again, it's up to you, so you can make your own choices. So I would divide the pair power man team up, so that you group go to one of the other groups, and the other groups just remain as you are for the sake of time. So you choose which team you want to join, and then please decide in the team whether you want to continue your role-playing scenario or not, or whether you want to prepare like another teaching activity. So group A will be this one, and also group B, so you would look into the podcasting. So you will be group B. Sorry, I'm introducing new things, because so far you were group 1, all of a sudden now you're group B, but I hope you can manage. So A, B. Yeah, you're doing it now. So you prepare. So just a quick, I mean, it can also be a hypothetical learning scenario, which you then present to the others. So either way, what I want you to do is think through this and prepare a learning online scenario. So you can continue the role playing if you want or not, up to you. All right. So welcome back from lunch. I just wanted you to quickly show this. So this is the virus stuffed toys, by the way. So you can buy E. coli, polio, common cold as stuffed animals. So this is pretty cool. You can also buy HIV, hepatitis, swine flu, and others are out of stock, but so this is pretty cool. Yeah. Maybe you can have the dengue as well. And you can, here's TB, tuberculosis. So you can buy it as a stuffed animal. Yeah. Just showing. So I don't know how much time you need still. You're done? So they are ready to take your lesson? Okay. And about you? Are you done? Yeah. Okay, great. And you said, are you not happy? So we can moving forward. So basically the idea would be that you swap. So they are taking your lesson and you are taking their lesson. And then we'll see how it works. So, you know, kind of moving from conceptualization into are things working out actually the way you think. So maybe we start with group A. You were doing the Zoom breakouts, and then I'll give you the word, and then you can take over the lesson, and then you'll be the one who will take their lesson, and then we'll see what works, what doesn't work, and have a discussion.
Do we really ask them to do the role play or no? Yes. Oh, okay.
So they can do it because, you know, self-experience like this. Wait.
So we really need to have the role play for them. Yeah. No, it's fine. We have three. Yeah, we have three and one observer, right? So it's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So for us, we want to share. Yeah. Okay.
I think you can do it.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I just trying to see who will present this one. So in the morning, Azam Fabio already discussed the things we are going to do, right? So here, the breakout rooms, we consider, but here is only, we need the 4 people in one room, but then they have only 4 here. So basically, it's only, we cannot, or the other way, we just make some changes, 2 people in the room. I see. So even for this one, can we do the breakout room? So in that case, we can put them.
So can we consider them as one group? Yeah. All 4 of them one group, because in our.
Yeah,
so we have 4 characters. So 4 roles.
Yes.
But this, yeah, then they will be added in one more. Just assuming other rules are there. But that only, I think only that's it's fine.
It's just about like physically moving them somewhere.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's not working because it's meant to be online, right? And we want to see how the role plays work online. So maybe one of them can sit here, one of them can remain here, and wherever you want to move them, there's another room over there, and somebody can sit outside or something. Right?
So our question is like in our group role, like each room does have 4 people, but now here we have only 4.
It's fine.
That's fine. So we just
Yeah, but the thing is, like, because you don't know yet how well the role playing is going to go online, because and then I would move them in different rooms and they would do it online, and then we can follow how they are doing it online here, which will be kind of fun. One breakout room, you mean? Yeah, but 4 physical rooms. We have physical rooms and Zoom rooms. Everybody will be in the same Zoom room, but different physical rooms, so we simulate online environment. Sure.
Okay.
Because you want to know how the role play is working online. Because otherwise they're all sitting here and they're not online. There you go.
All right, so we have 4 places to eat. We do. Someone can go for the lunch place. Yeah.
And talk to my girl. No, you have to join the Zoom.
Here has 1, and then here has a place we can go, right? Okay.
Physically divided.
Oh.
So here can be 2 people. This is a very nice room.
I can be into this room.
Okay, so the Wi-Fi.
I think the connection is fine.
It's fine.
I think it's
They have a table and chair, so
It will be very fun.
Even outside here, it's okay. Nobody, one will be inside, one I will be here, so it's easy.
Okay, that's also fine.
ไม่เป็นไรครับ
Wait, how many? Our group members.
They have to manage everything online.
So now we have 4 rooms for people, right? So.
no, this is.
Oh, this one, still this. You all can hear us, right, from different rooms? Can you hear us? Tony, yeah, Tony, we see you are talking, but I cannot hear you.
It should come in the speaker.
Recording in progress.
Oh, no. We should be able to hear from that computer, right? If other people join on Zoom, right? Yeah. So that computer, the sound system.
I think it might be the sound system.
Yes. Dr. Can you try to talk? Probably we should start recording of this. So when they talk, we should be able to hear from them. Tony, you are talking, but we cannot hear you.
But this is like ever, I think so. No, I think it will be loads of fun. Tony is talking, but I can hear him. And could you check the audio? Vanessa's walking. He's escaping.
Got the echo.
You can hear her.
Hello, 1, 2, 3. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Hello, 1, 2, 3.
Go.
Can you hear my voice?
Check 1, 2, 3.
Can you hear my voice? Can you hear my voice?
I can hear you. Hello, can you hear me?
How about me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No.
Hello. Is my voice coming through? Yeah, I think my voice is coming through, right?
No. You have to do it online. It's part of the exercise.
Yes, Tony, we can hear you.
Oh, great.
Oh my God.
Everyone, right? Now, Kundu, can you hear us?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, can hearครับ.
Okay, great. Tony,
Hello.
Tony, we can hear you very well.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you พี่โทนี่
It's like classic.
All right, so for this class, in the morning we introduce.
นะครับ สุดยอด
Tony cannot hear you.
You cannot?
Apparently not.
Tony, okay, ask. Can you hear us?
พี่โทนี่ look like freezing so maybe the internet
Yeah, maybe the internet is no, he's moving.
Tony is moving now.
I'm missing.
yes you are missing for 5 seconds
Missing for 5 seconds. Really?
So they can hear each other. Tony, can you hear us in the room? Can you hear us here?
yeah now I think we also freezing for another 5 seconds
It's lagging.
Is it because of the internet or what?
also I see myself freezing also
Oh, they are frozen. Both they are frozen on my side, right? Kundu also. Oh my goodness, we are all in Thailand, and we have good internet connection now.
Yeah.
And yeah,
so if you come in CS building the internet view perfect
all right. So let's start. There's echo here. How about now? Okay, good, perfect. So is it because of internet connection? Where she is? Vanessa, which room you are in now? Is it too far from this because she's using this connection? Okay. Don't make any changes. Later on, I will have problem with my Zoom. So. Yeah. Can you go back to do my setting? Because tomorrow I have the Zoom meeting, I will have problem. Okay, what did you do? No. Setting, right? No, not here. Okay. So it's fine now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's just go back to the the echo, I don't know where is the echo. How about now? Still, is it? Okay. Still there's echo. Still there's echo. All right, I think we can, oh no. Where it is? No, this is all off. All right, now perfect, still. Okay, let's just go. Can you hear us very clearly now? I think it's fine now. Yeah, okay. So, all right, the exercise itself is a role play, right? So in the morning, as Fabio introduced the topic we are going to talk, there are 3 roles here. So 4 of us, we are going to assign them role, ourselves. Okay, Dr. Chris, can you be the environmentalist? And Vanessa, can you be the community representative? And Kundu, we have another role, is the, what's that?
Environmental scientist.
Environmental scientist is Dr. Chris, and Queen Vanessa is the community representative
Of the company?
This is another role. It's not the one we used in the morning?
Yeah, it's the same one.
Same one,
Yes.
but do we have a CEO?
Yeah, the one who is actually building the factory.
So Kundu is the CEO of the one who is going to build the factory. It's a different, okay, this is scenario I remember now, okay.
It's okay,ครับ.
And then, Tony, can you be an observer as well as facilitator? 2 roles for you, observer and facilitator. So you are going to facilitate this discussion among the 3 panelists, 3 roles. We have the environmental scientist, that is Dr. Chris. Queen Vanessa is a community representative, and Kundu is the CEO who is going to build the factory. So now we play the video first to introduce the scenario. Yeah. So the video, we use the ELAI to do this, 1-minute video. Yeah. This gives you the scenario, the case.
Wait, what is my my role?
Good evening and welcome. Our focus tonight is the future of Willow Creek. For generations, this has been a quiet community, sustained by its pristine river and deep connection to the land. But a choice is now before us. Prosperity Industries has proposed a new factory, promising hundreds of jobs and economic revitalization. However, this proposal has deeply divided the town. Environmental reports warn of significant risks to our local ecosystem and the very way of life that defines this community. Tonight is the final, decisive meeting. We will hear from both sides before the council casts a vote that will shape Willow Creek for generations to come. The question is clear: progress or preservation? Let's begin.
Okay. Oh, is it because of
And the echo as well.
I see. Can you just sit there instead?
So make sure we will not be kicked out.
Just sit there. So coming back to this room. Do we need to play this video one more time for you to get a clear picture about the scenario?
For me, it's okay.
Kundu, you are talking, we cannot hear you.
Really? You cannot hear. But I can hear you.
Have you heard about the story? Have you really got clear picture from this 1-minute video?
Yes, I hear video. This guy.
Okay, since our community representative did not hear anything yet, we will play this video one more time.
Good evening and welcome. Our focus tonight is the future of Willow Creek. For generations, this has been a quiet community, sustained by its pristine river and deep connection to the land. But a choice is now before us. Prosperity Industries has proposed a new factory, promising hundreds of jobs and economic revitalization. However, this proposal has deeply divided the town. Environmental reports warn of significant risks to our local ecosystem and the very way of life that defines this community. Tonight is the final, decisive meeting. We will hear from both sides before the council casts a vote that will shape Willow Creek for generations to come. The question is clear: progress or preservation? Let's begin.
All right, thank you, everyone. So now we are going to explain the rule for this breakout room and expecting you to come back what time. Okay, so here we already have the scenario played, and now you are going to discuss about our question. So the facility, this guideline, we already uploaded, right?
Right.
Okay.
It's already in the Zoom chat as well.
Okay, in the Zoom chat. That's great. Thank you. So you will get a guideline document from the Zoom chat that is called Zoom breakout room session. Oh, you explain this maybe.
So there's a file that has been sent to Zoom. So it's called Zoom breakout room session. So it has all the details about what. Okay. Yeah. So we have the facilitator who will be facilitating the entire session. And if you go through all this, there's all the things that have been described. You can go through it quickly. And at the end, what we are expecting is debrief questions for critical thinking. So there are 3 parts that needs to be answered. So the first part will be deconstructing arguments and perspective. The second part is evaluating strategy and unseen biases. And then the third part will be synthesizing new insights and real-world application. So we have about so we have like 10 minutes to set up the to understand your roles, and then what things you would like to say to defend yourself. And then after 10 minutes we do the role play simulation, and then we after that we finally go to the critical thinking discussion, and then finally wrap up. So
so this part is in the breakout room, right? So, and we also request you to, actually the task is it too long for 1 hour? It's almost. Yeah, we will request you to shorten this exercise. Yes. You are the community representative, and Dr. Chris is the environmental scientist, and Kundu is the CEO who will build the factory, and Kun Tony is the facilitator and observer. Observer is got to take notes as well. So in the document, we put the time is a bit longer. That is ideal situation, but in this simulation activity, we want you to finish within 15 minutes, if possible. And then you also, we need to ask everyone to come back in the plenary, and then to do the sharing. This sharing will focus on these 3 questions Suhai just mentioned, and also in the document, part 1, part 2, part 3. And the last step, we want the whole group to come back to this room and then do the debriefing and the reflection. Here we have another 2 questions, which are different from the breakout room question, okay? And I think the other 2 questions, we will just mention that when everyone comes back, otherwise it might be confusing people. Right. Once everyone comes back, we will let you know the debriefing and reflection questions. Is that clear now for everyone? If things are okay, clear with you, you just put, okay, Dr. Chris is fine. You can put your real time up, also you can put it on Zoom, that's why we can see it. And then once everyone's fine, okay, Kundu is okay, it's clear now. Vanessa, Kundu, Vanessa, are you okay? You lost everything.
I know, I really missed everything, even the video something that.
Oh.
I lost the internet connectivity, the connection. I missed everything.
We have time to do one more time?
Yeah, I think we have to.
Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Since half of the participants have the issue, we will go through things together one more time. So this is the breakout room discussion. We are going to play a scenario and a case study, right? The context for all of you. But before doing that, we are going to have 4 roles. The roles we just assign randomly. So Dr. Chris is an environmental scientist. Kun Tony is the CEO who is built the factory in this community. Kun Vanessa will be the community representative. And Kun Tony, you are the observer, and also facilitator. You are going to facilitate this discussion, and also you are going to take notes. Is that clear to you?
Maybe it's more clearer if we do the role assignments, you put it on the chat box of Zoom so that even though if we cannot like we could
Okay,
clearly
all right.
but rather than talking to us like that, it would not be very clear.
Okay, we are going to do that. So in the meantime, we are going to play the case one more time. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome. Our focus tonight is the future of Willow Creek. For generations, this has been a quiet community, sustained by its pristine river and deep connection to the land. But a choice is now before us. Prosperity Industries has proposed a new factory, promising hundreds of jobs and economic revitalization. However, this proposal has deeply divided the town. Environmental reports warn of significant risks to our local ecosystem and the very way of life that defines this community. Tonight is the final, decisive meeting. We will hear from both sides before the council casts a vote that will shape Willow Creek for generations to come. The question is clear: progress or preservation? Let's begin.
Hope after second round of playing this video, everyone is clear about what we are going to do. And in addition, we post the facilities guide for this whole exercise in the Zoom chat. So you can get the document, get familiar with the case. At the end of the document, we have 4 questions for the group to discuss. And Quintoni, please remember your role to take note and also report back later to the plenary. Is that clear now? Still no.
The guide questions, where can we get that one?
It's in the Zoom chat. There's a PDF document called
Zoom breakout room? Yes. Is this the one?
Yes. And also it's shown on the screen right now. So this exercise, we are combining 2 different roles, 2 different functions, 3 functions actually. We are doing the role playing and using the Zoom breakout room functions. And the video was created by ELAI. So at least we are applying the 3 different tools here to facilitate this conversation, this discussion. Are you clear now? Can you start discussing? Oh.
Do this one.
I think only that the host can do it, right?
Huh.
So we just start talking.
Okay, let's start.
Okay. So hello, I'm the CEO. I want to build some factory. Yeah. So I think my factory will gain a lot of people to get the job, and I will produce some product that is useful for the community also. What do you think?
You would like to build your company?
Yeah, I want to build some factory to produce something, so our local community will get a job.
So that's great. So maybe we
get the product, the community get a job.
So based on what I can should I be sharing my observation right now? Am I still on? So, I don't know. My internet connection dropped. So I don't know how is it like yeah, it is like down, the degrees should be down, like here. Okay. So what I have observed in this kind of breakout room Zoom or observation regarding the role play or
Regarding the whole discussion.
the discussion only, not the connectivity, not those on.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Next time come back.
Okay. So I think it's yeah, this is a very nice activity wherein every participant can do and play the role that they have been assigned. And it is like here I could see that there is this this the objective to have job creation and for the community, but then the community it has been reluctant on it because of some negative impacts to the environment, the producing the product of water, bottled water from their area. So I think this has drawn out a lot of emotion, especially from the community affected by this new company wherein they are reluctant to accept the company building up a factory there. And then while the company has been CEO has been trying to appease all the concerns that the community has, even with the environmental scientists feedback about the dangers of this groundwater depletion, which is very irreversible, the company still would like to promote that they are bringing good to the community. And yeah, um, there's no one side positive that has been seen by the community, even if they're offered to have more jobs creation for the community, even offering a school for the community. The community outright have not seen this as positive things for their community. Although one time they have aired that maybe for long term they might see first the schools. I don't know if they would like to see first the school infrastructure to be there and but which is like the company did not address it directly, but they are just saying that they will just follow every standard regulation that the government has. But this did not like appease the concerns of the community. So in the end, the environmental scientists really like pointed out that the community should think about their future, or else there will be nothing left. So thanks. So I don't know what happened to the recording because my internet is.
Oh, okay. But it's part of the experience, so. So are you doing still something from the role play now?
Yeah, we are asking the observer to share his observations.
Who was the observer?
Tony. Yeah,
And Tony is lost.
Coming.
There he's coming.
Yeah. And after that, we will do the debriefing. Okay, so we have our observer and facilitator come back to the room. So can you share your observations of the whole discussion in the last 20 minutes, please?
Observation limited to the conversation of our company CEO and the community representative together with the environmental scientist. I observed there is this not only profit company that has been thought of by the company CEO, because like they're thinking about also the good things that they could provide to the community, and that is not only just to build up the drinking water, bottled water company there, but they are also thinking to generate jobs for the community as part of their goal on the purpose of having that community. Maybe they have seen the need for jobs, but then this has been refuted by the community representative that they don't need more money, they don't need more jobs because the people there are most likely happy to do farming. Yeah, and then when the company said that we will provide you more benefits by having all of these things to build a school for the community, free drinking water, and we will comply with all the environmental regulations of the government. The community representative say at one point that okay, maybe we could think if the school is there, but it is not yet there, but then maybe in the future. But then right now, our concern is we don't really need your free water because we have right now a water source that is like readily available to us. There's no really positive thing that the community representative can see from the offer that the company has. And then added to that, when the environmental scientist was able to air his own point of view regarding this back and forth conversation, then the environmental scientist just advised the company CEO that you should follow all these government regulations so that you will not be existentially harming the environment of the community where you're going to put up the company. And then at the same time, the environmental scientists also advised the community representative to take a look at this seriously, because this does not affect only right now concerns, but it affects future generations. Like, you will not have a water maybe in the future if you allow this company to operate in your community. So I think this draws a lot of emotion from each sector, and I as an observer can see that the company is really like just happy to be helping, but at the same time viewed as a antagonist in this thing. And then the community representative, although hesitant to really have to accept this company because they are thinking also, yeah, maybe there is something good to it, but in the end, the environmental assessment that come from the scientist really is, I think, something to take away in this conversation. So I think this is a nice way to role play. Yeah, it's good. Draw out some lots of back and forth conversation. But if you talk about how it went, it's quite difficult.
What you are saying, this one is better.
The sound is not quite clear.
Okay, that part we can do in this, our last part, that is a debriefing and a reflection of the whole exercise. Before doing that, we really want to thank you everyone for participating in this activity actively. And then Tony, as the facilitator and observer, really summarized quite nicely of each of the roles. So here we come to the last segment of this exercise, that is a debriefing. We have 2 questions for each of you. Could you please just summarize like in 1 minute for one question, okay? So the first question, what was the most unexpected learning from this activity? From Dr. Chris, please.
For me, although this activity generated by AI, students still had a chance to critically think, and express their opinion to other group members. So this one allowed the student become a creative to defend their position. So basically, the AI-generated active learning content is quite useful for the student activity. That is what I learned from this.
Thank you. Probably I did not phrase the question clearly. Here, the debriefing, we are asking what is the unexpected learning from this activity rather than the AI. That part of debriefing will be Dr. Sandra's job.
I think the unexpected thing, everyone can easy to know that technical issues, I mean the sound effect is not really good, so it wastes a lot. No, I don't want to say waste, but we got struggling on the sound and we lose the time to read whatever we need to play. But luckily, this case we get familiar and not really hard for everyone to know at the first time, so we still can play at the end. But I think, yeah, technical issues is a main, yeah.
Thank you.
Or maybe the factory representative not really strong enough.
That's the answer.
And he can change from producing the clean water into the beer, very fast to change that. So how strong can he be to protect himself?
Because you demand a lot, so drinking water maybe cannot make profit for that. Yeah.
What is the unexpected learning from this activity?
So for role playing is so much fun. But so for the role play you can be random, right? But for me, I get this role and have to like fast thinking what gonna be, because I have to be the first one who start like to talking what gonna be. So I have to get really fast thinking. But so maybe need more time to plan a little bit that what should will be offered to community more, that is it good idea or not, or maybe have to make out room for only me and maybe someone that help me to talk to them, and then maybe she will be like, oh okay, we for this that you demand, okay, we okay, but for the next we are not okay, so can we go back to talk to governor or something. But the event so much fun.
Thank you. Yeah, as a facilitator and an observer.
An observer, I think the voice of the environmental scientist, the last line that he said is really what makes it all effective for the community members to think about. It's like think about future generation, just not like what it is right now that you can get, but what about the future? So yeah, and I think that kind of line of thought will bring to a lot of people to think about not only now, but also the future.
All right, so Dr. Chris, since you got the question right now, do you want to add unexpected learning from you? Use that one, please.
From the contents AI generate was representing each stakeholder's opinion, and they also designed something benefit for them from factory or scientist. So basically, we can think in multiple dimension to give an answer depending on who is the counterpartner. So again, basically I have very low expectation about the AI generated activity, because the student may lost their chance to think by themselves, or lost their creativity because AI directed everything. Yeah. So, but after experiencing joining this activity, quite impressed with this content. So still we can make the student to become a creative and provide the good topic for the debate. Yeah. Is it enough to give an answer?
Can I add just 1 minute? I think the case study that you design is really, really interesting, but the time you give is really short. So that's why people still many things in their mind, and they want to talk a lot more. And in the real practice, it is we will have many rounds of negotiation between the parties. It's not only this. So because of that, so we forgot about the main function, the main purpose that we are trying to approach now is using AI. We forgot totally. Everyone forgot that part, I think. So we fall into the content of the discussion because it's too interesting. For me, maybe I would expect that we have longer time, so we will manage both of the content and how to generate the AI in both. That's it.
Yeah. 50 minutes is a whole of time. So we should be at least 2 or 3 rounds.
Thank you everyone for, thank you Group B for your active participation for this Zoom breakout room session. And we would like to close it now. And yeah, thank you very much.
So finally, can you I think the environmental scientist has been quite clear in that, and it is the turning point when he presented it.
I think I'll give to them. They are the ones who thank you so much. Now it's your turn.
Even if you follow a standard environment, you still feedback. That's all you do.
But you are in school, even intervention is not enough. You don't have time. You got into your goals very quickly.
All right, and maybe we can do a quick round of reflection of this activity. Essentially, when you think about that, what worked well, or where were you confused, or what was difficult as a learner? Because you were now in the learner perspective, which I think is very helpful also in designing this in the future. So if you think about the start, so first you were faced with connectivity issues, audio, then people were kicked out, came back. So this will always happen, right? It's like you can prepare as much as you want. People are sitting in different locations. It will always happen. So you need to take this into account when preparing, that you help people to follow up once they're kicked out. So, for example, this is the first time you're doing it, and I think you did a great job overall. So, and we want to move forward thinking about this a little bit more critical so that we can learn from this activity, and then also you take this with you in case you ever prepare such a session, like a role-playing session you want to do on Zoom, for example. So one thing which I noticed was, so Tony was kicked out as well as Vanessa, and they came back and they didn't see the video. So you played the video like 3 times at least. And then also the document that you shared, it's like 6 pages, and there was unclarity of a role assignment. So what would be your recommendation if you were to do this again? So thinking about these issues, what would you improve the next time to make this smoother? Also, I'm not sure if you gave them a time. Did you give them a time when they went into the breakout room, like how much time they have now? Or was it like Tony doing it? I think Tony did the facilitation. Or did you give a time? There was a timer?
We had the timer at that.
Oh, okay, very good. Yeah, very good.
The timer was very useful.
Yeah, timer is very good. So this is super helpful steering the conversation.
The timer is very good. That's why I really want to be stronger, but it needs more time. So I have to cut it because I know time is running.
Yes. So maybe looking at the slide from this morning, so if we, because you did the example of the role play in Zoom, it's a bit small. Write a short scenario brief, 150 words. So I think you had like 6 pages, which you, I guess, can give, Tonia.
For me, it's like normally before you let the participants go to a breakout room, you should brief them on what they have to do. Each one should have a role before going to a breakout and give them time to digest their role for like 5 minutes at least to to internalize that I am a CEO. I am the thoughts doesn't just fly in a minute or anything. To make it more effective, maybe our environmental scientists have a lot of time to reflect because he came in a little bit late. But then for those who are like the company CEO and like that, it should be make it more realistic and more productive. I think before breakout, each role should be given, and then let them study the particular points of you to depend on, and then even me, I'm quite surprised. I got the role of being an observer and a facilitator combined into one. It's like, oh, what should I do? Facilitating one, and then this issue of like sound and connectivity is there. So I don't know. It's a real world scenario that happens during Zoom meetings, Zoom breakouts. It happens, and I don't know what is the solution.
No, you give us the solutions already partially, like for example, starting with the instructions, right? The instruction got to be concise, clear, and given before the breakout, right? And also the second point, leaving time, like Kuntu also mentioned this, right? Leaving time for you to digest the role, to really, to also allow you to go through the guideline. Yeah.
That would be
So, but one thing you could do moving forward with the role playing is that if you have a more extensive scenario like you had, like 6 pages that you provided on the e-learning platform, for example, or on some other platform, and maybe also the video in case people drop out so they know where to find the video. Because the problem in Zoom is that you cannot post things like, you cannot have like a shared space in Zoom where everybody can access things for the Zoom session. So you need to use external tools. So either you provide it in a Google Drive or you put it on the e-learning. But like some space where people can access it even during the Zoom session. And the other thing is preparation. So probably it's good, like Tony said, to provide the character cards before in the scenario so people can familiarize themselves with the role, or give them some time during the Zoom to prepare. So maybe, a more structured way. So, okay, for the next 10 minutes, please familiarize yourself with the scenario and your role. And then after 10 minutes, we will assign you to the breakout room where you will assume the roles and you will be there for this and this time. And outputs then can be collected on Padlet or Google Doc. So coming out of this, do you think this is something you see yourself using as a teaching tool? Like you could do it longer even, or you could do it via Padlet, like asynchronously as well, where people take on roles and then basically discuss or bring in points and so on. So you see yourself using this? Not, okay. Even for IT?
Yes, maybe AI boot camp or cybersecurity boot camp, and let's get the idea of hackathon or something. Can make argument. Maybe they try to attack each other.
To attack each other, okay.
Attack server, asking the first group how it's going.
Okay, yeah. All right, so we are taking some time to go through this, but I think it's helpful for you moving forward if you want to use these methods, because now you experienced yourself how this may work via Zoom, and that beyond the technical challenges, you may want to take into account giving character cards some time for students to get into the roles and to provide as much structure as needed. So how was it for you facilitating? What did you like about that? What was difficult? What was, even for you, confusing?
Yes, for the first starting part, it was a bit confusing because we had to organize because of the setting, I believe. So if everyone was online, then maybe it would have been much smoother because everyone would have already had a good connection and hopefully, and yeah, other than that, yeah, we realized that the timings were a bit too much, and the description was also a bit too much about the role play. I think we described it quite a lot. So maybe, like you said, we should have maybe before the lunch shared it to them, just the idea of what they had to do, and then having lunch and thinking about what their roles can be. Maybe it would have been easier for the participants, I think.
Yeah. Would be one example. Then maybe you could have practiced during lunch already, assuming your roles,
Right.
warming up.
Right.
Yeah, but so, but you were happy, not so happy with what you've prepared, or
about the content that we
like in general?
About the discussions that were done by the participant, it was very good.
Okay.
And we really enjoyed it, the discussions and everything. And regarding the content, it was also quite good. So yeah, the story that the generative AI developed was quite interesting. And also the video, we just gave it like a 50-second script, and then it generated a video for us. So for that, we used the tool called Eli. And then for the entire story, we used Google Gemini. And yeah, those were the main tools that we used for the activity planning.
Yeah, great. So the Elio, so you just provide like a few commands like in ChatGPT, and it generates automatically a video, and you, I think, can provide some parameters like how the human should look like. Yeah. Also, you could, for example, save the video of the role play and have this scripted automatically with AI, and then you know, also use it maybe for grading or for other purposes,
Okay.
potentially.
So the thing,
for further perusal, yeah. Sorry.
Also, so with the free version, only 1 minute was allowed.
Which one? For Elio?
Eli.
Yeah, these tools are all. But I mean, if you, I mean, maybe you can advocate in your universities, because these tools can be very helpful, and the universities do have money. So it's not like, you know, there's no money. So I think you just need to advocate to the right people, and probably you're very close because you're IT anyway. So, and the IT department usually has the most money. So. In any case, so if you find these tools useful, maybe you can discuss with someone from AIT, and maybe they can get a subscription, because I think it can be useful for many people moving forward. It's just a matter of understanding what is the most useful and what you want to use on a maybe more continuous basis. So yeah. So this was the example of the synchronous role-playing, ups and downs, some learning, but I think it's good to do it because otherwise you think about it and it's better to also have the experience. So now we swap. So we'll take some time for your exercise, teaching activity to be taught to Group A. So please, I would then invite you to take on facilitation.
Maybe, so let me show first, and then Ajahn Kis maybe talk about more about the slum community. So I just talk about how it gonna be. So this is the podcasting pay, right? So we use the theme of voice from the slum. So the role play gonna be government, local community, hospital, private sector, and so podcast radio as simple in interview question. So like you will be like select your role. Where is it? Here. So we prepare for many, but you already have only 3. So maybe we remove some. That's only 3 row. No, maybe have to have this one first. So journalist because have to be journalist. So what you want to remove? No, we have only three.
Only three.
So broadcast only three character.
Keep governor.
Governor, okay. Journalist we need because
Journalist
have
and then
local, okay. Okay. No, journalists they have to make their own broadcast. Whatever they want. Okay, so government, journalists, and local. So committee member and secretary answer in the character make a podcast for 5 to 8 minutes. So any software for record it fine. So I want to brief the background of the slum community. Maybe.
So basically, the urban slums are quite an issue nowadays related with environmental and public health. So government have to consider about this issue by listening the local communities and also the hospitals. We have 3 government, local community, and hospital, right? Yeah. So now our AI journalist will interview you to listen from you. Generate the podcast yourself. Okay.
So the idea is like you in one is your local community. So maybe you have problem with the smell, and you realize that this case that we have a really strong smell that we couldn't sleep, we cannot use our life or something like that. So or also maybe like the previous, like I'm a CEO of a factory, maybe I get put the water pollution in your area. So one is the local community, so you have a problem. So you will like to
the journalist, you complain to the journalist.
let journalists go to governor and what gonna be do. So this one have to make the podcast from any software it file, from AI for whatever it file. So we want a podcast around 5 to 8 minutes. So the question about this one, I share. So the question may be whatever, but this is for mock-up. The daily life challenge. Can you describe what daily life is like in your community? This is question that you may ask. So at first, we will spin the law. Where is it? Yeah. So you want to go first? Hands up. So the spin after it choose, it's gonna be removed. So help you first. Local community. And next, AK. Government officer and Ajali as the journalist. Okay. So you can take your time for making podcast for maybe 20 minutes. Okay. And you show us the podcast and you want to add something about your slide or AI? Okay.
So a quick question: Do we have to speak in the podcast, or can it be generated by AI?
So you make the podcast, so I think it.
Oh, okay.
We want to hear your opinion.
At first, I generate with the AI, so we have the all content and you asking the question, but this is the class section for you, so you have to make by your own for the story.
So can we get something think learn from our previous exercise, you give us 5 minutes to familiarize first case. Can we have that? Including in the 20 minutes?
Unless Sandra is allowing us to have more time.
No more time.
So that's why 20 is it.
Maybe the podcast maybe shorter, maybe
5 minutes.
4 or 5 minutes.
4 or 5 minutes is okay.
That's important.
Maybe you generate the conversation about the low as Ajahn Kiss.
No suggestion, please.
Maybe I run this and we can do a break.
Yeah.
A working break.
Okay.
Yeah. While doing the podcast, yeah. Otherwise, there's not too much time. And I think it's valuable, but it takes time. Let's just do it. So let the guests have it. As you can see, but it would be good if you quickly. Do you have Audacity on your computer? Or, like, you can record with anything. Okay. Yeah, you can do audio recording. So we could just
Like to hear your voices.
Question to make it.
yeah. Okay, but just you can do it.
The third one we have.
So maybe I work on
And then post.
Those are very good in podcast. Just say hi, good morning, everyone.
Content and the third one just only recording and then uploading.
Okay.
Can we hear? Will you assign them?
So they have been assigned already.
She want to upload to the real podcast.
Yes. We'd like to see how it works.
Choose any host of the podcast and just put
Do the assignment.
whatever problem, smell or water or junk or air pollution.
Let them think about content themselves.
Okay.
Only one of you only need to think how to recording and then posting.
So if you have question, Ajahn Kiss will help you on slum community knowledge. Yes.
When you say community means the
Slum community, it means that people who live in the slum, right?
It was just mentioned community. So community means slum community or general community?
Slum community. Because it's from this topic.
So after generating the podcast, everyone will listen together
Yes, and we comment.
and give the
That's it.
comment.
Yes. So you make a comment because you know this.
Yeah,
On
but
slum community. So maybe we ask them to show their podcast first, and then you just we comment, and then we show this slide after. So how was your podcast? Did you upload to somewhere?
Not yet. Upload now.
Maybe upload to where in the Google Drive in the project, right? Right? I think maybe. Yeah.
Wow, that's very nice. If they upload it in Google Drive.
Yeah, by acting role playing, I think it's quite fun, and you have to think fast also. So maybe you can share the screen with the sound, and so maybe you tell about the briefing about your story first and show the podcast.
It's okay. Recording in progress.
Share.
เรียนไหนนะ Yeah, I actually can see it, right? Group work. Oh.
Okay, indeed. While we are waiting for uploading the document, we just this is about the water and sanitation issue in a slum community here. So we have the three roles that were assigned by the teachers here. So AK is the government officer, and Suhail is the community representative. What's your exact role? Community representative, and I'm the journalist. So three of us, we worked on a podcast to try to raise the awareness and see what are the things that can be done or that already have been done by the government. So the idea is to enhance, to ask for the collaboration among the government officers, among the community, and also having the private sector to get involved in order to address this challenging issue in this community. So that's the story of the podcast. This is what you asked us to do, right? How great to have IT colleagues here.
Okay, so let me start. Should I start by playing it? Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Voices from the Slum, where we share stories from urban margins, explore paths to change. Today, we are diving into the critical issue of clean water and sanitation in slums. I'm Lily, your host, and I'm joined by Mr. Suhail, a resident of Riverside Highlight Slum, and Mr. AK, a government officer focused on the urban development. Let's start with you, Mr. Suhail. Can you share with us your daily life, how it looks like when it comes to water and sanitation?
Thank you, Dr. Lee. It's really tough. We have one tap for over 100 families in the Riverside. I wake up at 4 a.m. to queue, but the water is often dirty. My daughter got sick last month, maybe because of the water. When talking about the toilets, we share one filthy latrine with 40 others. Women feel unsafe at night. We've tried boiling water, but it's not enough. We need help.
That's really heartbreaking to hear this, Mr. Sui. I'm so sorry to learn this from you and your community. Your story really puts this issue into perspective, Ms. AK. So from the government perspective, what has been done to address these challenges?
Thanks, Dr. Lee. I hear you, Mr. Suhail. And it's really tough to know families are struggling. We are rolling out urban sanitation programs, aiming to install 500 new water points by 2026. But we face hurdles. We have limited budgets, and land ownership issues in slums slow down pipe installations. We have started pilot projects like communal bio-toilets, but scaling up needs more funding and community input.
Thank you, Ms. AK, for sharing what you have done. It sounds very interesting and a lot of progress improved, but also with some limitations, with gaps. Mr. Suhail, have you seen any of these government efforts in Riverside in your community? What's the community doing to cope with this?
Some NGOs brought water filters last year, which helped, but they break down without maintenance. We formed a committee to demand more taps. My neighbor even wrote to the council, but they haven't replied yet. We are also pooling money for a private water, but it's really expensive. 20% of my earnings go to that. We need the government to listen and act faster.
Wow, it's very interesting to hear this great initiative from the community in collaboration with the private sector. So your story really put us into this perspective, but we want to learn from the government perspective, how can this private sector, government officer, and then private sector, they can work together to jointly address this challenge in the community?
Really, community voices are the key. We've set up a task force in some areas where residents like Mr. Suhail meet with us to prioritize projects. For example, one slum got 2 new wells after the committee pushed hard. If Riverside's committee connects with us, we can fast track a proposal. Media coverage, Dr. Lee, also helps. It pressures funders to act.
That's a great point. For addressing the issues like the water and sanitation in the community, especially in the slum community, collaboration seems very important and essential. We do encourage this this kind of collaboration among different stakeholders to work on this. So now, what do you want from a partnership with the government or media, Mr. Suhail?
We basically need our voices to be heard. If Mr. AK can visit the riverside, see the tap, talk to us, I'd mean something. And Dr. Lee, if you could report our committee's petition, maybe the government will respond. We just want clean water and safe toilets for our kids.
Absolutely, definitely. I'm going to cover your petition in my next piece, Mr. Suhail. Let's wrap up with one thing learners can do. Mr. AK, please.
To conclude, I would just say reach out to your local council, ask how they are addressing slum infrastructure, and push for transparency.
And please support our communities, share our stories online with #SlumVoices or donate to water projects.
And I'm going to add here, follow these issues in the news, amplify stories like Mr. Sultan's, and hold the leaders like AK's government accountable. Thank you for joining us here today. So listeners, visit our website for resources and ways to get involved. Thank you so much. This is The Voice from Slum. Until next time.
So one thing is unreal, you know. One thing is unreal. You came from the slum. That the water is the water quality is reduced. I mean, it's not clean enough for you, and it's supposed to be that you should be thirsty all of the time, but your voice is the strongest one. So that's make me doubt. Make me doubt.
That's the technical part because the way you report on this computer.
Or maybe because you are the community leader, so you still have enough clean water. Is it true? I need to raise that.
So, Ajahn Kiss, do you have any comment from their podcast?
Yeah, actually what I expected was a transdisciplinary approach, and it has to be started with analyzing the complexity of the slum real-world problem related with many different disciplines, covering economic and social and political factors. So I wonder if two of you consider about this kind of complexity of the urban, rather than focusing on the water and sanitation, to developing the interventions.
Okay, so the next commentator, Kun Tony.
For me, first impressions are like, I don't see it's unreal. It's like, yeah, maybe it's because like it's done in a fun way. Yeah, we can see that there is like not that kind of tension between the government and the community, or there is not that real expression of emotion that there is this problem prevailing. But that could be unreal. But then the content-wise that was being aired, the concerns and the suggested solutions are like, that's really deep learning for anyone, and trying to imbibe some internalization of all those issues. Maybe on the side of those who are participating in the podcast, it requires a little bit of time for you. But then I think people learn from those real situations that is right happening around. And I don't know where did they pull it from, but then those are real concerns that is happening around some urban areas, the slums. And then, yeah, the government is also trying to do those things, but they are tied up to their concerns also. But then I think the overall outcome of the podcast is, I think somehow we could get to learn something out of this issue. And I thank everyone for doing it great.
Thank you, Kun Tony, for the comment. So for myself, I'm looking for like live broadcast. So it's gonna be like no generate AI pattern. So you just maybe use for the topic, and you talk as the live broadcast. Maybe it's gonna be really fun. Okay, thank you. We all comment done.
Actually, the first comment just to refresh yourself, but I'd like to. I'm curious to know when you create the content of the podcast. Did you use any tool to create the story or not? And what tool is that?
It was like when we had this setup for or let's say the background for the podcast, the time limit is in 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes is not even enough to discuss about the topic.
Oh.
So we definitely took help from generative AI. We use Grok.
Grok?
Yeah, we use Grok, and like we prompted saying that come up with a current issue that occurs, that exists in slum, and also give us the solution too, and that too with the time limitation of 6 minutes.
What solution tool that you can use?
So that was a discussion.
They provide also the
Yeah,
solution?
they provided the
Okay.
solutions. During the talk, if you remember, like
Oh.
when journalist Dr. Lee asks question to Suhail as a community participant, he raises some concerns. That was answered by government officer, me as a government officer. Then again, that Suhail as a community participant comes up with his own investment for clean drinking water. And then again, government officer, me as a government officer, say that, yeah, you should reach to the local officers, push them. And I request Dr. Lee as a media person to push the issue.
So every question and answer you follow by the suggestion by the Grok?
Yes.
So have you tried to not follow them?
Yeah, we did for that regarding that. Dr. Lee would be the appropriate person to.
All right.
Well, we got the draft script from GROK, Grok, and then we went through, all three of us, we went through and we adapted to our own style of talking. And some sentences, some part we also move around, some questions we delete. So it's not like a completely following the AI generated content, but mostly are.
And did you notice that when you change the directions from the Grok, they get some direction for you, right? And then you change it, you don't follow that, you didn't follow it. And then how is the reaction when they answer? Did you search for the answer or you answer by your own?
So we did by ourselves, but then I would like to add it onto and just borrow words from Dr. Sandra, what she mentioned yesterday. This generative AI, it gives us the content and it gives us the content based on the prompt we give. So till date, we have written so much of prompt that whenever we have to write prompts, everything starts coming into our mind. So the first prompt that we give, the structure, how should it be? Like it should go for 6 minutes or 7 minutes. Who are the participants? So initially I took Mr. A for me, Mr. S for Suhail, and Ms. Lee for Dr. Lee. And then I mentioned who is Dr. Lee. So she is participating as a journalist. Who is Suhail? Suhail is participating as a slum community member. Then who am I? Means who is Mr. A? So Mr. A is participating as a government official. Then the next part is what kind of issue we want to address. So we want to address the current issue that is existing these days. So it came up with the water problem. And then we asked for the scripted content, and that should be conversational because that is for the podcast. So that was one prompt that we used in one go.
Okay.
Because, but generally if we talk about it, it takes maybe 10 or 12 prompts to make it the way we want it to be.
Really? I think, how many percent you think that the story flow like what you want?
So I think tentatively 25% we changed it.
25% you changed?
We changed it and we made it like up to our expectation.
Okay.
Wrap up the next section by Ajahn Kis.
So actually we designed this activity to generating the podcast based on the assessment plan, and this assessment also considered our learning outcome. So as I mentioned, this activity may provide you the figuring out the real world problem in the urban slums. So I wonder to generating and prompting the Grok questions, how your team discuss each other to decide what kind of prompt. And then each person has their different role in the stakeholders. So I also wanted to each student have a different angle to see the same issue, maybe have the government officers' opinion and the local communities aspect, and also outsider, which is the journalist. So the same problem could be different depending on each person's position. So I hope each person, every team members understand that different aspect. However, we should consider the design, the solution to make everyone happy. So we also expected to listen from this podcast about their intervention design. And next one, this one should be byproduct by recording this podcast, because you took a role as a government officers and a community member and journalist. So you may think your own idea about your role. So I may want to ask you whether you have any other opinion based on this script, rather than this script. And last one was we would like to provide you the opportunity to experiencing this generative AI tools to using your active learning activities. So we also want to listen more. If you have a chance to generate another podcast, what kind of AI tool would you like to explore? So overall, hopefully you have an idea about these slum issues and expand your thinking about this issue. So this is the overall comment from myself.
Yes. We have comment about your law.
May we have a suggestion? The learning outcome you should have given to us before we start the work. We run too fast. We run too fast to that room. Yeah, especially the idea about the TD solution, that is definitely quite interesting. We did not discuss, but in reality, during the conversation, we do touch on, right? We have the government officer who is placed like the political part of view, and the economic issue was mentioned by both, right? Both like a private sector and also running out of money. But this one, if the learning outcome were given to us beforehand, we can have a more detailed discussion, but everything was done within 20 minutes. But it's nice to see that what I expected from the podcast. We thought we just need to come up with a podcast.
And to add to what Dr. Lee said, it was like 20 minutes for entire thing.
No, we have the time for 20 minutes, total is 40 minutes.
No. So, yeah, definitely all the suggestions like we could have discussed, but the thing is, looking into the time constraint, we took help from the generative AI, and it suggested us a well-carved show. And when we went through those questions and answers, it was satisfactory that, yeah, we can move on with this. And whatever little experience I have had back in my days, so it was up to the expectation that, yeah, we can move ahead with this. Then we all discussed inside the room. We just kind of rehearsal. It was a kind of rehearsal that we had, and we changed some questions. We changed the perspective, how it was presented, and we changed the flow, in fact, and recorded it. And furthermore, if we had more time, we could have another recording and come up with a proper editing, removing background noise, which was quite often there. So still we were trying to do it, but if we had some time, we could have done more. Thank you.
I think the most important part for the content creation part, like we could do a little bit more from our own side rather than starting with the AI generated content. The other part, the technicality part, if we have time, we're going to do that. But that's yeah, that's another aspect of this exercise.
Okay,
Thank you
thank
for
you.
all the comments.
Thank you so much.
So we done the section. Thank you.
Maybe we do a quick 5-minute break and then come back, kind of close both activities, and then we already go in the closing of the workshop. And I know, but it's, and you know, things take more time. I wanted to do, but maybe it's too fast, the pace I imagined to go through with this course. So I think this was also an important learning because you get to do the podcast, you get to do the Zoom breakout role play, which gave you some important insights. So 5-minute break, then we come back and we do the finale. All right, I think we can continue since this is the last 30 minutes of the workshop. Sorry. So we come back to this exercise in the reflection in a minute. I just wanted to start reminding you where we started. So going back to your expectations of this workshop that you had, or is the recording still going? All right, yeah, it's still recording, okay. So if you look at the expectations you said at the beginning of the workshop, you wanted to learn skills for student-centered active learning for online course delivery, how to deliver to versatile studentship, how to use Moodle or learning management system best for active learning, organize, scale contents, how to use technology for course delivery, convert the GLOW courses into e-learning, translate existing courses into shortened e-learning courses, and discussion of 7, 8, 9 courses as e-learning courses. So I guess we have to take some of the items forward. But I would certainly say that we covered quite a number of tools. So to revisit where we started on Saturday, so we looked in the beginning at e-learning, active learning principles. We then did a first deep dive. It seems like a long time ago, but maybe Saturday we started looking at Miro, Kahoot, Padlet. You did your first exercises and deep dives. In the afternoon, we looked into your first time with Articulate, and you started also even creating SCORM packages and uploading SCORM to the AIT Moodle, for example. And we then worked on the Articulate, and you came up with, I think, quite a number of different courses. On day 2, we started differently in the morning. I know the backward design for the e-learning, so you got a method for the backward design, so how to do content development for e-learning, so starting with the objectives, assessment, activities, and then the tech tools. We were spending a little bit of time on the backward design because it took, I think it was better to do this a little bit deeper. We also then moved the Gen AI for active learning, so you explored Hypothesis, Google Gemini. Kanmigo is unfortunately not available in Thailand, but hopefully will be soon. You also explored Notebook LM. And we had the discussion, the critical one, about Gen AI yesterday afternoon. And this morning we started with the input of the role-playing, the podcast, the Zoom breakout. You did explorations of different tools for the role-playing and the podcasting. You at least got one group to do it. And we had kind of micro teachings of the different sessions, I think, which were valuable in terms of doing it, like getting to know how easily you can do a podcast. And then you just have to think how you can use it in the future, because you've seen how quickly you can use AI to help you come up with the scripts. So certainly you maybe could do it in another way, that you do an impromptu interview or something where people maybe have less preparation time or so. The Google Design Sprint, I think we have to push this for the next workshop. So overall, I see that there's need, but maybe you can feedback also where we could potentially dive deeper. So, for example, having like one dedicated day for role playing. So where we could also explore a little bit this character AI, because in character AI you can build different characters with which students can interact. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it already. Yeah, so it's essentially, there's like a wide range of characters available, and you can also have avatars and stuff. So maybe just to have quickly a look. It's not moving. So you can generate like moving avatars from, it's a little dark, but the website is black, unfortunately, because they think it's looking cool. But you can just upload an image, and then you can provide an image description. You can give it some kind of dialogue, adjectives, and then you can generate this, and it generates also a voice, and you can write scripts for that. So you can just take an image, essentially, that you upload, even from yourself or from, I don't know, anybody. And then at Character AI, you also have the possibility to create a character yourself. It can even have a voice, so you can also have, a voice conversation, but here you can see, you can give a character name, you can provide an image, a tagline, description, greeting, you can provide all kinds of other information to build your character, and then it basically will create a character for you with which you can interact. So for example, I just tried this public one, and you have different ways of interacting then with this character. So here, this character is Andre Winters, a hardworking photography pro, socially awkward. So I asked him, how do you think about dengue? And then, he answers in character. So you can also use this, for example, for role-playing. So you can have a set of different characters that potentially can interact with the student, for example. So you can build these characters, and they remain on the platform. And you can also have these avatars. So I recommend you check out this Character AI as well as a homework. Because it potentially can be especially very interesting for the role-playing.
We tried Character AI, but we were stuck on the email avatar. We could not change. There's only one, the free version.
But this is the free version. I haven't paid for it. I didn't pay anything. Maybe, no, I didn't. I haven't paid for anything. So this is just a free version, essentially. And you can also, there's like so many characters online that you can choose from and that you can play around with. So you can even have like sparring partners, like if you want to write a book. So this is like a sparring partner helping you to write a book and stuff. So those are basically predefined characters, which goes beyond ChatGPT, where you need to prompt your own character, you need to build it. And this is like a, so there's like different ones, right? Like, for example, here, you can practice a new language, practice interviewing, right? So this could even be like in combination with the podcasting, for example, where you practice like interviewing skills, for example, and you can have people interact with this character, or here, help me make a decision, write a story. So there's even a creative helper. So there's like many different ones. So you can check it out. I mean, this is really something that you can combine with other things, with the role-playing, for example, as characters, as a kind of pre-training for the podcasting. So it certainly has different opportunities for usage in active learning. So coming back, so we are now at day 3, and you've done quite a lot of things, but I see potential to have like a deep dive into the role-playing, because today we did it shortly with a Gen AI generated scenario, but we could also explore like a little bit deeper what would be a good way to generate a character, what are characteristics that would be helpful to students, because you can and should be going a little bit deeper to also experienced yourself what is kind of a good environment for a role play. What do you need to provide? What instructions are good? What characters are good? And then to actually play a role play, not like for 20 minutes. I mean, today the activity was more for you to experience how you potentially could do it via Zoom, what are kind of challenges that may come up. So more in the sense of technology, that you can do it and what you need to provide. But in terms of role-playing, if you want to, you could even design like a role-playing weekend. So it could be like a fun activity, you know. So it could be really an interesting tool, and we could go through other educational live action role plays that have been designed by others. For example, there's one which was developed by a Dutch university to teach computer science students ethics, because typically they don't care about ethics, they only care about computer science. But it's super important that computer scientists at least are aware of ethical issues, because we see it plopping up everywhere now. But there's like ethical concerns with these technologies all over the place, because computer scientists are usually not the one who, you know, care about ethics. So one role play was about ethics for computer scientists. So it was like a 4-hour play where each student took on like a different role. They had like life points hanging around their necks. So during the 4 hours, they needed kind of to increase their lifespan with certain activities. And with that role play came also ethical considerations. So you can, you know, the role play is certainly something which is very interesting, and certainly something where we could do a deep dive. What I also saw is the Gen AI prompting. It's not so clear, it seems, so I think probably it would be good to spend at least half a day on the Gen AI prompting, because it's, the prompting is key, because if you know how you can prompt things, you can build the AI to your needs, right? And then also avoid hallucinations and all these kind of things, and maybe even a day, probably. Because the prompting you can translate into a GPT on ChatGPT, or into a gem or Google Gemini, or you could even go on Character AI and build your own character by prompting it together. So the prompting really makes a huge difference. I'm just realizing this now. But there have been these questions plopping up like, how did you do that? And you know, it's about the prompting essentially, and it's maybe a sequence of different prompts to make you get to where you want to, or building a GPT. So these things we haven't touched yet, unfortunately, only basically like very shortly in the groups maybe. We had to take out the Google Design Sprint. It's another method like the, you know, for generating content, which helps you in a quick way to make decisions and move forward in generating good content. Also deep dive podcasting, so because we haven't yet touched on other things, like how to integrate podcasting, for example, into Articulate, whether you want to host it on a podcasting platform. I mean, there's different considerations you can make also moving forward, because podcasting can be like an ongoing thing, and because you can have students do like a podcast series, and you know, maybe this becomes even a thing. Because many have done it, and I think maybe that would be also super interesting to dive a little bit deeper. And I mean, today we've done a short one, but maybe it also needs more consideration how you can integrate podcasts in an active learning way. Because doing podcasts 20 minutes, I mean, it also needs to be interesting to students, the content, and how can you do it in kind of a cool way that people are interested in listening to it. And then, of course, kind of putting everything together on Articulate, you know, like the different components that we worked on. How can you kind of integrate role-playing? We touched just a little bit the branching as another tool that you can use, especially for fully online versions, and so on. So those are only the deep dives that I identified. But now moving back to you, so it has been quite a full 3 days, I have the feeling. So you got to learn a lot, and we kind of went through many things. I mean, we could have done more, but I felt that maybe at times the pace was a little bit fast, but maybe you can also give me feedback like how it felt to you, because it's the first time to do such a workshop with that many tools, and the idea was to expose you to as much as possible and to give you the opportunity to understand what's out there and to decrease kind of the threshold for you to touch these tools and also explore them for your teaching and learning. So now it's the time for the final feedback from your end. So it would be great if you see any deep dives from your end, like what came kind of short for you, where you wished you could have more time to look into beyond what I've just mentioned, where you maybe still feel a little bit confused, what was good about the workshop, or what you liked, and where you wished we spent a little bit more time, or where you still feel confused and need more input. So final round of feedbacks, and I start with...
Thank you very much for your hard work for the last 3 days, and everyone, especially from the AIT colleagues who are the experts on these AI tools. I could learn a lot from you, and also this is quite an opportunity to experiencing the actual hands-on development, the course. So Articulate 360 is quite open tool to upload our own developed courses, and also can embed other AI tools like Padlet and Milo, so we can design whatever we want using. But we haven't touched it yet to apply this, the SCOM? Yeah, so I may need to go back to the university to talking with the IT person from our university to learn about the KU MOOC, whether they have the capacity to apply. And role playing, that is what I expected from since very first day, and today we experienced, fully experienced. So the separated room gave us quite an creative activities. So we could think how to defend ourselves. So it was quite well designed content. And one thing I worried was rely on the AI generated content, because podcast basically we just read the script. So I think it may take the chance to students think more critically, because they are following the AI generated content. So we may need to consider how we can make the student much more creative while doing their own podcast. So just like a separated room in the Zoom, they gave us the directions and some arguing tasks and topics, and we generate to secure our own position. So just like this, podcast can be like this. If we record our conversation, that is the podcast. Yeah. So yeah. So the way is only doing, and trials and errors makes the content and active learning make much better. So if possible, we need to do this kind of activity regularly to improve our skills. Yeah. So this is my comments. Thank you very much.
How many minutes I will have?
Too long, but
all right. I don't have much word to say. Thank to everyone for your really active participations. Really, everyone. We worked really hard over the last 3 days. Because even someone still denied to use the AI, but they still join fully join. And the second point I'd like to raise is, okay, first to the content today, like the role play and the podcasting. We felt too much in terms of the content, but we still forgot the methodology, how to design the course by AI. I still expect more than that. Mean that we can have more time to absorb the experience of using both AI and the content that we design together at the same time. But yes, I understand that that is the best we have done over the time constraint. So I'm still happy with that. But but from that, I also think about for the next workshop. I heard that you will have by October. Maybe if no, it's just the suggestion. If you want to make it the best, maybe you can give the assignment for everyone, every participant, like 2 weeks in advance. That we are going to do this, we are going to do that. The other idea for this is like from the workshop today, what you learn, and you can revise your course design, and let's see what AI tools you apply in your course design, and you can present in the next workshop. That could be more useful and helpful. It might be like that. If I'm the one who managed it, I will do that. Because at least they should have some time to absorb whatever you deliver in this workshop, and then they have some time to practice it or use it, and then they can share to everyone at the following workshop on what they are using. Yeah, that is my comment.
My turn. So wrap up the 3-day workshop. I think the schedule was really tight, but it's well structured. So this is called we can learn and we can try out by ourselves also. It's quite fun. And if I'm ranking the day of the 3 days, I think the first day is the most fun for me, and this is the third day, and the second day is the last for my ranking, because maybe for the second day is more we talk more about the AI, right? I think we already have learned maybe half of that, so we know how to use the AI. But for the role play for the today, I think it's quite really fun. And also for the first day, that for some plugin that we don't know that how can we use, like Charm, right? That we can use with our system also. Yeah, I just noticed on that day. So everything during this workshop, I think is great. So I met the new team member, the people, everything is nice. About the food, about the location, everything really good. Thank you, Kap.
Yeah, these 3 days is quite shocking, quite shocking. Very open. It opened a lot of things in my mind that is not there before. I heard about a lot about AI, but I never delved to look on it. And it is this past 3 days wherein I get to see what are things possible and what are not possible. And it's really like a lot of things wherein it could be a productive tool, and not only in education or like in academics wherein you're going to teach for learning, but it is also like in IT part. I can see there's a lot of things that can be done using the tools that are being used, and I'm thankful to the organizers and everyone for sharing their knowledge about these tools, and I really would like to leverage all these tools in the coming days. So I will definitely be getting pro level Gemini AI. Thank you, everyone.
Well, first and foremost, thank you, organizers, and thank you for having us here. Last 3 days, it was quite interesting. It was good. Learning by sharing, learning by doing, and hands-on experience of the first thing that was articulate, as Pito mentioned. It was a new thing for us. And yeah, definitely, this podcast, the breakout rooms, the challenges, hands-on challenges as well. These are the challenges that we really should be planned, prepared about. So all in all, it was a good experience. We look forward for these kind of sharings. Thank you, organizers. Thank you for everything. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
I think everything has already been said by the two IT experts. So yeah, I again would like to say thank you, the organizing team, the host, and everyone. So it was really wonderful to participate in this event, and I'm really looking forward. Actually, we all are looking forward to the conference, and yeah. So I mean, so yeah, well, we learned a lot of new things. I did learn a lot of things, and hopefully we also could help understand some IT tools or some other generative AI tools that we knew about. We hope we share those knowledge, and we look forward to sharing what we get to know in the future as well. Yeah, I think that's about it, and thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. First of all, I really want to thanks to Dr. Sandra, who made these 3 days amazing for all of us. I think this is really a great experience. You mentioned this is your first time to do a workshop like this, but actually we really saw you put so much effort, so much thinking into this, and how to bring the people with different backgrounds, with different levels of IT expertise. You really brought us together and then have a lot of fun activities. Thanks a lot for this. It's really helpful. And well, to me, I mentioned a couple of times, I don't really have those IT skills, and all those things are quite new to me. It's really eye-opening, but it's really good, and we can start I can really start thinking how to apply those in my own teaching, and also for the global health program here at the Faculty of Public Health Thammasat, we also want to bring this transdisciplinarity and active learning methods into the program, into the curriculum revision part of the process. So Ajahn Fabio and I, we are here, and also Kun Yu, right? Nangai is always with us. So we really want to bring this back to other faculty members as well to build, so it's more, not only these 3 days, so we want to really embed that into our program. And I also want to take this opportunity, really thanks to the GASISA, Dr. Chris, and our AIT experts, AIT colleagues. Without you, cannot imagine how we are going to work out with all those activities. Yeah, so still a lot more to learn, and we are just neighbors, right? So whenever a question, I'm going to call you, so to request you to come here to help us out. So and during the lunchtime, we were talking about the potential another follow-up workshop we will work out. Yeah, we will also discuss in detail and then come up with. I think here, the further deep dives, this is really something I was so much looking forward to the Google Design Sprint. It was possible from yesterday to this morning, and then this morning to afternoon. Eventually, we don't have time to cover. Yeah, and also from this afternoon's exercise, the podcasting and the role playing, definitely if both groups we were given a bit more time, that will be really, definitely we can really play a lot more out of it, right? So, and Kun Vanessa also mentioned that you want to do a podcast, right? So this is something we can really practice and learn more. So the one on those on the list now actually are really interesting. Even myself, I'm really looking forward to that. And back to the expectation from day one, half of that is about converting the existing courses, put that back into the online platform, and also discussion 7, 8, 9. Some part of the discussion we can move to the October conference discussion with the project partners altogether. And some part, if we really want to do that, I think we still need to have those skills to make it happen, and we have the open EDX is available here. I just want to make it clear that is a part of the Glow product, right? So sitting at Thammasat, but it's available to everyone, to AIT, to GASISA, to everyone. Everyone can really come to, no need to physically to come, but can use the open EDX platform. So there are just a lot more that we can do. Yeah, thank you. Also, our team, thanks a lot. You made 5-star the service, thanks a lot. The IT, the catering team, and the Kun Sky is managing with all this. Thanks a lot. Yeah, thank you.
So many thanks for your feedback. So just to remind you on your homework also. Yeah, so because this was kind of the first time doing such a workshop, essentially it's difficult to kind of know how fast we can go. But you find the things just to show you. So I've put everything in the online teaching resources, so it's 00, it's the #1 folder. So you find the active learning, content creation, overview, digital and Gen AI tools, podcasting, role-playing, Zoom. So these are all the lectures according to the topics, which may be easier to locate than to go into the workshop days. But you nevertheless have them in the workshop days as well. And for the Gen AI tools, so we just touched a couple. The same is true for the digital learning tools. So this is certainly something where I would encourage you to take some time and be curious and explore them, because it can be quite fun too. Even for yourself as a teacher to learn how you can use these tools. So coming back to the expectations, I think also we learned that potentially Gen AI can be quite helpful if you wanted to translate the existing courses into shortened ones, to move very quickly and don't do it by yourself, but rather take AI as a sparring partner to digest into e-learning contents. And I think this is where it comes back to the prompting training, because if you know how to do it well and with which tool, you can move very quickly in a high quality way, and then basically you do one revision of the content and then things are done. This all moves nicely together with Articulate, and a couple of tools now, how to integrate them, podcasting. I think also the audio, you should probably be able to put this in Articulate as well. So I think we laid the foundation for you to grow, to stay in Katzesart agricultural metaphors. So we kind of prepared the ground so that you can grow as a healthy plant. So essentially, but there's still the potential to deep dive, and I think we have one more IT workshop left in the Glow project, so which could be leveraged moving forward. Yeah. So then thank you so much for all your active participation. So this was really interesting also for me to learn how to offer such a workshop, and how you kind of interact with the different tools and what you find interesting. But overall, the program was a bit packed. I feel now a little bit sad that we couldn't cover other things, but it's just so many things that we covered in 3 days, and which maybe you need to digest or dive yourself a little bit deeper in. Yeah. So thanks so much for the great food. There was really excellent food presentation. I mean, the food was really great. So many thanks, and also for the organization and everything. It was really fantastic. So thank you, everyone. And again, thank you for your active participation. And I hope that you feel ready to go e-learning and embrace the digital tools, and also dive deeper into the Gen AI. So yeah, many thanks, everyone.